Hey, YouTube, it's Ryan Bailey. This is the Beverly Hills recap for So Bad It's Good. This is also a podcast. So I'm just doing a little intro before I hit record on the podcast part of it. But you should check out the podcast at some point because I play mashups at the beginning, and mashups always just make me super happy. When you take two amazing songs and you throw them together, how can somebody not be happy? We've got so much to talk about this week in regards to this episode of Beverly Hills. It truly was maniacal. So let me hit record and we're going to get into this. Enjoy. You've made it to the weekend. If you're watching this on the weekend, if you're watching this during the week, you've got a couple more days until the weekend. Okay, cool. Welcome to So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. This is Ryan. This is your Friday. Yeah, this is your Friday episode. This is the Beverly Hills recap. We have made it through another week, you guys. I got it. I've had an unhinged week, and then watching this episode last night, my week was so unhinged that I was like, well, maybe this episode is kind of normal. And then I went back and watched it 2 more times, and I was like, this is insanity. I will cut you down. Does anybody want Reno Rosé? Am I mistaken? I feel like it's like skin cream. We've got enough rosés on the market. Like, I was good with Vanderpump Rosé. I mean, it's like, how many is that going to be the next thing? Like Bravo Books is that everybody's going to start really, it's like, Luke Gulbranson's Rosé. Oh my God, I'm saying it now. It's probably going to happen. Dorinda Medley, she has a bourbon. I mean, that must be the new thing that they're getting offered. I mean, and Erica, of course, she has, I think, the only, not hair extensions, because I know didn't Kim Zolciak? Yeah, she had a hair extension line, but Erica is doing it for now. In this day, in the year of our Lord 2022. So how are you guys doing out there? I hope you have had a decent week. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about my mom update here in a second. But thank you so much for everybody that reached out this week and wished my mom good luck on her surgery. And it really did mean a lot. I don't I'm not good at handling things. I don't know. I don't fall apart, but I internalize a lot. And I don't know if you guys do that as well. So I put myself in my own kind of miserable cage a lot of the times. And so this week was hard, and I probably made it harder just by being me. So, and also you guys, we had Monday, we had Sophie, and I did a bunch of pop culture stories before that. Tuesday, we did a Southern Charm recap, and I did more pop culture stories. Wednesday, I took off. Thursday, we came back with a vengeance. We had Maggie Kelly, who is at Best of Bravo on the old Instagrams. And I got to tell you guys, I got a comment, and I felt this during, but I want to explain. I mean, I was so hyper during the interview with Maggie because I'm kind of friendly with Maggie, and I just haven't talked to her in a long time. So at times I forgot I was even doing a podcast. And it's not like a method actor was like, I was just so in character. No. I just was so excited, and I was so stressed out about my mom because it was actually the day of her surgery, and she was waking up, and I just heard she woke up, and I was really, I don't know. I was just really happy to not be thinking about my mom for an hour, and that's why. And I felt it. I was just so excited. It's like you have somebody like Maggie that watches all the Bravo shows, has all these cool experiences, and it's like you can go anywhere in the conversation. And I was just so excited. So it's not the most attractive thing, though, when if I cut somebody off or whatever. And I reached out to her today and she's awesome. It wasn't an issue like that. I still had a great time. Unfortunately, I get always bummed if you guys don't enjoy it, but I personally needed that. So I guess there was a little of use to it, even though I think it was I can take 5 moments that I think are really funny in that interview. But today, luckily, I will only step over my own words. And then on Monday, we'll start it all over again. We'll be having some more great guests. If you have any suggestions, though, for guests, So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey, you can email there. And also, you guys, like, if you do have a comment about, if you don't like me or if that, send it to an email. You don't need to tweet it. You don't need to, I don't know. Cause then it makes me feel like you just want people to know I suck. And then that's like such a bummer. Cause you're like, I don't feel like this is helpful. You just want people to know I suck. And it's like, I'll let people know I suck. I'll take care of that for you. I suck. Okay. So on to my mom. So she had surgery this week. And by the way, I need to know the listener. I have to imagine it's a listener. my mom got a thing in the mail today. It was a necklace, like a really cool necklace that says "fuck cancer," and because that's one of the things that my mom's dealing with right now. And it did not have a note, but it sounds like a baddie. It sounds like a so bad it's good listener. So please let me know who did that. And then I thought I was going to get in trouble. Like, did you do that? Did you curse on a necklace, Ryan? I thought I was going to get in trouble from my parents. And I was like, no, Mom, I don't have a potty mouth. It's my listeners who have a very, it's bad potty mouth, and they make jewelry out of it. But also I do want to say fuck cancer. Fuck you, cancer. So she is doing, so the surgery went great. So they had to remove this gigantic, like, tumor mass thing right by her adrenal gland, so it was affecting hormone production and all this stuff. Unfortunately, it has been like kind of leaking poisonous stuff, and I know my mom's going to be pissed at me saying most of this anyways, but so this is the first part of it. Then they're going to go and do tests on the tumor, and then in like I think that's like 10 to 14 days, and then we will start chemo or find out the plan of action from there. The only thing that sucked though is that I mean, so many things sucked, but it was that she gets nauseous with pain medication. So they were trying to give her opioids, which I was like, I'll do them, Mom. Like I can handle that shit. And she was throwing up, like she was physically ill every time. So she was not getting pain medication. So she was in a lot of pain. And this sucks, you guys. And if you are an older listener, or, just like, because she had shingles a couple of years ago, and it is one of the most painful things as you get older to have shingles. And when you have, other illnesses and stuff like that, it can reactivate the shingles. By the way, this is the great. By the way, Erica and Lisa, if you're listening, I have a feeling you're going to get shingles at some point. No, not me. And if I do, I'm going to sell it in my rosé. Lisa, we're in a rosé with shingles. Harry, do you like that? Yes, Lisa. Yes, I do like that. Can I go take a private walk now? We'll get to that scene in a sec. But yeah, it reactivated her shingles, and that is one of the most painful things. So she is kind of in misery in terms of the pain, and hopefully that will go away. But you guys, I mean, that's why I think sometimes I'm as silly as I am on here, or I watch the shows that I do. I mean, because it's, you guys know, you guys have had sick family members, or you've been sick yourselves, or you contemplate life and death all of a sudden. And it's like really intense feelings and stuff, because, no matter what, there's no escaping it. Like none of us get out of this alive, like we all at some point have to go. And that kind of stuff will really, it really bums me out. And the other thing was, I told you guys this week, we'll have my mom on. Hopefully she will feel okay enough to come on for like 5 minutes next week to kind of just, give a little firsthand experience of shingles and getting something removed from your body. But she didn't want me there. She said I was going to make her more nervous. And that really bummed me out because she let my sister and my dad be there. And so then they're like, I'm getting like live stream updates from the hospital. And, and then my dad, then I got really, she was waking up, and they were both texting me, and I was like, what the I'm not at the party where my mom's waking up from the surgery. And like, I even had a bag packed. I was ready to like hop a flight or get in the car and drive. And I still am. And I know I'll probably have to go down there and work out of Arizona for a while, depending on what this next step is, which I hope you guys will. I don't think you guys listen, because I podcast out of Los Angeles. I literally podcast, and you're like, ever since he went to Arizona, you can just tell it's too hot for him. He's not giving nearly at all. And that's just my mom moaning in the background. Oh, shingles, fuck cancer. But everything, this part is good, it's just that of course you don't want your mom ever to be in pain. But I just wanted to give you a quick update. I said I was going to on today's show, and that is what I have. The shingles thing kind of like surprised me. I wasn't aware of that. And then it's great to get your dad's text messages on this, like, oh, just throwing up again, gotta go. Like, gotta go. And then my dad said he knew she was getting back to normal when she started talking a lot to the nurses and stuff, like over talking, which is kind of what I get that from Becky Bailey. But I thought that was a funny thing of like, yep, she's telling these people what they should be doing and all that stuff. So it looks like she's getting back to normal. And I was like, yeah, did she tell any of the nurses anything wrong about you, Dad? Because that's the other thing she'll do. By the way, can I tell you this? She'll tell, this is like this is between us. Do your parents ever do this? My mom overshares personal information about me that is not even true. Like like she'll like, okay, when I go to the bathroom, I bring my phone in there. I'm doing important work. I'm making memes, making magic happen, and sometimes I'll like make sound. I'll be like, ah, da, da, ba, ba. I'll be doop, ba, 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 doop, ba, 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 ba. I'll make sounds, but it's like, okay, like I'm not like, oh my God. And she told my friend that sometimes she worries I have hemorrhoids because I'm in there too long, and that she'll sometimes hear sounds when I visit. Telling a friend that she thinks I have hemorrhoids. First off, I want to shut that shit down right now. I'll show you my butt on YouTube right now. I do not have hemorrhoids. But then she goes, and his dad had hemorrhoids. I didn't even know my dad had hemorrhoids. She's telling strangers about my dad's hemorrhoids. And I was like, what the hell? I don't even know what a hemorrhoid is. I'm in there doing work, you guys. Like, my God. So if we'll talk to my mom about this when she's on the show next. I need to remember to ask her about this. How are you guys doing? I feel like I've really monopolized our time here by I hope you guys are doing good. I'm so tired right now. I was really thinking about not doing this, but then I was like, no, I want to do this because it actually gets me out of my head. And I love to think about people enjoying this. I hope you guys do. And thank you so much for continuing to listen. If you do like the show, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you to Juliana Carrazza, who did the notes again today. That really helped me out so much because it was the last thing I wanted to do was type down verbatim about Lisa. And, it's been a while. I wanted to do wine. Like, come on, man. Pick a lane. Is it lip kits or is it wine? Like, I just feel like any of these ladies, you throw a product at them, they're like, yeah, slap my name on it. Let's go. Let's do it. Like, I don't associate alcohol with Lisa Rinna. I associate pills with Lisa Rinna. Like, that, I associate big lips. Like, the lip kits to me were like, hell yeah, man. That makes sense. You need a bunch of lip kits to cover that kind of wide amount of space on your lips, Lisa. But other than that, like, I was like, rosé, what the are you fucking talking? Or even put Harry's Bolognese. I mean, it would be a perfect, like, we never got the beer cheese out of Jackson Brittany, but it was like, yeah, I want Mama's beer cheese. But Harry's Bolognese, wouldn't you just buy it for the jar alone? What the fuck am I going to do with Reno Rosé? What am I going to do with Reno Rosé? Because it's going to give you a bad hangover, hands down, which, by the way, we will do a test on this show when Reno Rosé comes out. I will drink a whole bottle on the show and we'll see what happens. I probably will die. And that's why this show is it's like scientific. Like, we're actually exploring things. I'm kind of like Neil Armstrong, like going up to the moon. I'm like doing things that nobody else will put their body through for you guys. Also, if you are thinking that something's wrong with your eyes, you are not. I had said earlier in this week, I did get into the bathroom and I took a lot of my stress out on my facial hair. And which, by the way, I read a YouTube clip that said I looked really old with the beard. And then I was like, fuck that. And I shaved it down to a mustache, and now I can't, I'm not allowed to be within 50 yards of any kind of school. So that's perfect. No, I'll probably shave this weekend, but it's kind of fun. Like, I feel like I'm like an actor and I feel like, wow, am I about to join Top Gun Maverick? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fun. You're like, who's this new guy? And then you're like, it's the same old guy, same old Ryan. But it was exciting. It's exciting for a second. I don't know if you guys are going to like it. We'll see how it moves. I don't know. I think that is everything. Of course, there are so many news stories I want to cover, which we'll talk about on Monday. I do need to get into Dane Cook. Happy engagement to your 23-year-old future bride that you met when she was 17. Amazing. Tracy Morrissey, our friend, an amazing podcaster and writer. She did an amazing group of stories on her Instagram, I think today. and really went down that rabbit hole. And I have known about that rabbit hole for a long time. And I can't wait to talk about that on Monday's show. Of course, I also want to talk about Kylie Jenner in the lab. She she's in the stew. She's in the studio mixing up those makeup kits herself without any kind of PPE or hair nets. And then she got into a fight with somebody on Instagram and pretty much admitted that it's a fake factory she uses for social media purposes, which is just like, how deep does this, how weird? Every time I think there's not a conspiracy, then there turns out to be some kind of weird conspiracy. Also, I would love to talk about Alex Jones. This isn't a political podcast, but I guess I won't. But I don't know if you guys saw that clip where he's in a trial against the some of the parents from the Sandy Hook horrible tragedy, because he said Sandy Hook never happened. It was like insane. And Alex Jones to me is like, it's almost like a sketch comedian. He's like, oh, I'll tell you what, you know, and he's very rich. The InfoWars' show makes tons of money, but he got sued and he lost today for $4.1 million. But they had this amazing moment. It was so amazing that I was like, is this a scripted television show? Like, is Kylie Jenner doing makeup in the back? Is it just like a fake set of a courtroom? But his lawyers accidentally sent every text message on his phone for the last 2 years. Like they were only meant to send like something, and they sent the whole thing. And so they found out that, you know, he had perjured himself on the stand. And they got Alex Jones on the stand and said, "Do you know how we got this?" "I don't know. I you know," and it was like one of those TV scenes where in real time we saw that this guy got caught lying. And I don't know, that's weird. Like with anything, you guys, I always say this with this show, with any show, be skeptical. Don't believe everything, you know, like just really always do research for yourself. There's so many voices out there. Always follow your gut, but also just know we're in a time, especially where people are just saying shit that's not true left and right. And you can even point to the Housewives for that. Remember? "I had nothing to do with my husband's stuff. I'm Erica Jane. I have sex all the time. I get dick down, honey. Dick, dick, dick. Suck, suck, suck. I'm a dominatrix. It's me, Erica Jane. I want things in my butt." By the way, I love when I do that. And I have a framed photo of Tom Girardi in his law outfit, his little superhero photo right there. He's always watching over me. Tom, did you know that Erica this week talked about being wanting to be a dominatrix? "Well, that's great, Ryan. Can I tell you a little story about John Wayne?" "Well, I was a kid and I went into the barn and there he was." There is a new story developing in Erica Jane News, you guys, is that the LA Times did another bombshell article today. Like, LA Times has such a boner for this story. And you might be like, oh, that's unfair. But remember, not really, because Erica Jane's a facet of this story, but remember, Tom Girardi was a very powerful lawyer. And in this story, it alleges that there were judges in Tom Girardi's pockets that were paid bribes to. And that is why the $800,000 earrings, Erica is fighting to get those back. And there's just the headline of this article is "Unraveling the Mystery of Erica Jane's 800,000 diamond earrings and Tom Girardi's finances. The murky provenance of high-end jewelry and the earrings that became a plot point in the downfall of high-flying lawyer Tom Girardi." And it's a whole story about these earrings in the LA Times. Really good, you guys. We're not going to get into it all right now. Probably save a little bit for Monday. But it's interesting because all of these trustees are involved. You've heard Ronald Richards on this. I want to get the Bravo docket ladies back on to talk about this, actually. Sandra, if you're listening, let's try to reach out to them. I would love them to come back on. But the diamond earrings he gave her around the time of their 2000 wedding when he was 60 and she was 28. What up, Dane? He didn't beat you, brother. Were part of a collection that grew to include rings, bracelets, watches, and other jewelry with a total value once estimated at $15 million. Mikey's like, what? Oh my God. All right, tin roof rusted. The earrings and other pieces came from MM Jewelers, a small shop tucked in a warren of similar outfits in downtown LA's jewelry district. The relationship goes back a long way. They talked to the jeweler Erica Girardi possessed the earrings until at least 2007, when she embarked on a career bankrolled by her husband as pop singer Erica Jane. It's at this point that the fate of the diamond studs became murky. In one version of events laid out by Tom Girardi in records submitted to bankruptcy court, the earrings were stolen in the early months of 2007 while the couple were out of town for a 3-day weekend. So they're saying this is stolen jewelry. Fortunately, almost all of Erica's major pieces of jewelry were in a massive safe. That massive safe is called Mikey Minden. Hell no. Girardi wrote in a 2012 letter to tax authorities that was later filed in bankruptcy court. The earrings were not in the safe, the lawyer said, but rather in a little cup in her dressing room. The thieves took the earrings, 2 of Tom's watches, 2 of her watches, and a bracelet. Can you imagine what are the chances? You put all of it in a big safe except for the $800,000 earrings. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it in a cup. Where should I keep these $800,000? I'll keep it in my mug. My I Hate Mondays with Garfield mug. In the latest version of events, though, Girardi has Jewelers make her near identical replacements. So this is the second time with these earrings. And paid for them with a March 6, 2007 check for $750,000. It was drawn on a bank account for clients in a drug inquiry case, and it is the use of those settlement funds that has led U.S. bankruptcy judge Barry Russell to call the purchase of the earrings a crime. Russell ordered the earrings seized and sold. So you guys follow that? By the way, I'm actually asking Ryan, do you follow that before you try to explain that before you try to mansplain jewelry to women? So basically he had to buy a second pair, said the first pair were stolen, right? But who knows? Got a second pair, but used funds from one of his clients. The money was drawn from a bank account from a drug injury case that he was working on. And those were the settlement funds. So that should clear it up, right? So that's illegal. She should give them back. Do you guys agree or not agree? I think that's pretty obvious. If those were ill-gotten gains, you can actually prove it came out of this account he wasn't supposed to spend and bought this. That's proof right there. Now, but other records reviewed by the Times suggest that version of events is untrue. The records from Pasadena police and an appellate court indicate that the money was transferred to the jeweler long before the earrings were stolen. Pasadena police said there was only one burglary reported at the Girardi's home in 2007, a theft of jewelry during a 3-hour window on the night of December 28th. That date is 9 months after the $750,000 check to Jewelers. By the way, that Pasadena mansion, for such a nice area of town, it gets fucked with all the time. Remember, Tom fought off a burglar. Remember that whole bit from last year? This house gets hit nonstop. The police. So, I mean, this is fascinating. We're getting crimes right and left from the, and I think they're going to keep getting uncovered. The police records are consistent with the Girardi's own timeline in a 2009 lawsuit against their homeowners association. The couple asserted in that litigation that diamond earrings were stolen December 28th from a glass jar on a bathroom counter. Wow. Went from a mug to a jar, along with several other pieces of jewelry. The date of the burglary was repeatedly cited in the litigation, which went on for 3 years, all the way to an appellate court. In this version of the burglary, the Girardis were not on vacation when the crime occurred, but at dinner, and the earrings were valued at $1 million. They inflated what the values of the earrings were. By then, state tax authorities were asking questions about the burglary and the earrings. In response, Girardi sent an official at the Franchise Tax Board in Sacramento, which he claimed to be documentation of the theft, including a copy of the $750,000 check, along with sworn declaration from the jeweler. But remember, the jeweler is his buddy. Girardi did not include a police report or a receipt for the jewelry's purchase, but he did direct tax authorities to Thomas Layton, then a top investigator at the State Bar of California. Now, the State Bar is what gives out their lawyers their licenses. The bar, you have to pass the bar to become a lawyer. Now he's pulling in his connections with the State Bar of California. So, of course, the tax board is going to be like, okay, well, that's obviously on the up and up. If you're letting us talk to a top investigator at the State Bar of California, there's no way that illegal impropriety could happen, right? Girardi wrote that Leighton, quote, assisted us as a friend in the situation. That was could you assist us as a friend in consoling us over these stolen earrings? In his declaration, the jeweler recounted the matter was one of serious concern, and Tom asked me to try to duplicate the earrings that were stolen. I did exactly that. The actual value of the earrings is much greater if they were to be procured at Cartier or some similar store because, jewelry markets, friend discounts, all that stuff, you're getting it directly from the source. Now, I'm going to go through this, but already are you kind of thinking things like, well, maybe there's just been one pair of earrings the whole time, but they're trying to get two. Trying to get the value of two. Insurance pay. There's so many possibilities here. It's unclear what became of the tax investigation. A spokesperson for the Franchise Tax Board said he could not comment on individual cases, but he said generally that the agency may reach out to taxpayers as part of its administration of the California personal income tax. Erica Girardi's attorney, Evan Borges. Evan, you must be having a hell of a couple years, buddy. Now, are you like Teresa Giudici's lawyer, where you're going to start being on the show all the time? Remember when we saw Teresa? And by the way, Teresa's getting married this weekend. Send her well wishes. He previously said, So Borges declined to comment for this article, but he had previously said in court papers that the earrings were innocently received and that the bankruptcy trustee was trying to blame his client for events of 15 years ago at a law firm in which Erica had no part. Borges has made several arguments about why Erica should not be required to surrender the earrings, including that the purchase of the jewelry occurred too far in the past for the bankruptcy trustee to have any claim of them. But if it's used with ill-gotten money already, I feel like that's on the up and up, and you can take that. Just because he didn't steal from the Lion Air money to get the diamond earrings doesn't mean you can't pay the. It's crazy. Asked for an explanation of the conflicting burglary accounts, an attorney for the jeweler says perhaps Girardi's version of facts is not credible despite a sworn declaration. Oh, you think? His character and credibility in light of everything that has happened speaks for itself with respect to version of what happened. So you're saying he's completely full of shit? The bankruptcy court's interest in the earrings is not the only instance in which M&M Jewelers' ties to Girardi have come under scrutiny. About a decade ago, you guys, Girardi wanted to buy a diamond ring, according to the jeweler and family friend. To pay for the stone, the jeweler borrowed money from this other dude, and then at the time, the other dude, who's a lawyer, was connected to people overseeing a settlement fund for victims of the Armenian genocide. Holy shit, are we about to get the Kardashians involved? Without the approval of the settlement board, he transferred $150,000 of the funds to the jeweler, which repaid the family friend, which he then repaid the family friend a year later. This is insane. It goes so... Okay, so the transaction and other problems with the settlement were reported to various law enforcement agencies. The jeweler said he was ultimately asked to testify before a grand jury, where he recounted under oath that he used the money to buy a diamond to put in Girardi's ring. There are no records of the grand jury issuing any indictments. Girardi remained a client of M&M Jewelers through at least 2018, when he bought what the jeweler estimated to be 6 or 7 pieces. What if Tom was like a big, what if he was like Mr. T? He's always just like, he has the suit on, but under the suit, he's like as many necklaces and chains as, your favorite rapper. Then we have a quote. The trustee is basically doing a lot of investigative work trying to figure out where did Girardi get the money, who has the jewelry, and did Erica disclose all the jewelry? The diamond stud's worth around $1 million. Might sound outlandish, but it is totally within the realm of possibility. Another jeweler from Rodeo Drive Jewelry Boutique says. I know it sounds crazy, but that's a natural occurrence in the luxury market. He said he has sold earrings with 10-carat diamonds on each ear before. Behind the counter at the store, that M&M store, the jeweler says, I have nothing to hide. The jeweler said he didn't want to disclose detailed information about Girardi or any other clients because discretion is key in his profession. I work with a lot of high-profile people. I am in business where a husband comes in with his boyfriend, with his mistress, with his wife. Oh my God, is this jeweler the new Lisa Vanderpump? This jeweler is where you take your mistress. Sir, is where you... So remember, Erica is fighting to hang on to these, even though the judge already ruled for them to be taken and given, put into a trust, and then eventually sold. But this is just more and more mess, you guys. Thank you for going with me on that. I'm glad we got to go through that mystery together. But I think it's important because it gives us, it gives us important information, and we can kind of then deduce a little bit of where Erica's mental state might be, why she might need money from dominatrix scene. I mean, like, seriously, at this point, I still never understand, you guys. I say this week after week. Why the fuck would you just not like go, here, take it? I mean, I want to do everything as good as possible, so you guys leave me the fuck alone from here on out. And it's just never going to happen. Oh, by the way, I just saw this. This is my Sutton. I'll say, Ron, you're drinking out of my Sutton store mug. And this is perfect. This I have I keep that in the cup, but guess what this is, you guys? Tom Sandoval gave me this when I did the house tour with him at his place. This is the hair that Jax Taylor wore on his head at his bachelor party when they all dressed up as old men and they wore the prosthetic makeup. This is the hair. And I love Tom Sandoval kept it. And then we went around his house. He was like, hey, do you want this? Like, he gave me like 3 or 4 props things. He's like, do you want this? It's Jax's hair from that. I was like, fuck yeah, I want this. I was like, how can we frame this? You can even see this little rubber band thing, like for the ponytail part of it. Truly, this will be in the Smithsonian one day, or the Ryanonian one day. I talked about Shop Jax's Closet yesterday with Best of Bravo, Maggie, and the items are all still up there if you've seen the Instagram account, and it's, I don't know, man. Like, some of those items called to me. I know I can't afford it, but they called me. They're like, Ryan, you need me. You need this framed in your room. And then I was like, if I do get one of those things, is it like then haunted? And then like in the middle of the, by the way, and also like I have a fucking oil painting of Tom Girardi and his brothers that we won from the Girardi auction. So it's like this, my whole living space is already haunted anyways, and like completely bad juju. Which, by the way, somebody said that to me of like, aren't you scared of like bad things happening to you because you bought this oil painting? I was like, I'm worried about bad things happening to me regardless of any paint. Like, it's been happening my whole life. What are you talking about? I will cut you down. Sorry, that's the last scene with one of the last scenes with Rinna in today's episode, which we're going to get into right now because, you guys, I'm so curious. It is funny, the more you watch these shows, like the first time I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I hate this. It was annoying me. And the second time you like start to notice little details, you kind of see little things. You're like, oh, that's interesting. And the third time you're like, some of this is poetry. And some of the way Erica Jane, like the way I do Erica Jane's voice, like, what's going on? It almost doesn't do it justice sometimes. Cause I was thinking back to the scene where we ended last week with Garcelle and Erica, where they, it's like, your son's a liability, Garcelle. And the way she would like, Erica will sometimes go like, she'll say a big sentence and then somebody will say something back. She'll be like, yes, yes, yes. Like, it's like these really quick hits, if that makes sense. Oh, truly, truly amazing work. Okay, let's get into the episode finally. And the other thing too is Lisa Rinna did Watch What Happens Live after the episode, and it was batshit insane. We do have to stop people from apologizing repeatedly. I guess I'm a mess, Andy. I'm a mess. I'm a mess online. And then she apologizes for everything. And like, it doesn't even seem like a real person. It seems like a complete Westworld robot that is just saying, yeah, I'm horrible. She's literally losing the plot. She's becoming faker every episode. And I don't ever want her to leave. So you can't even say that I want her to leave because I don't. She's like amazing TV, but she tried so hard. Sutton said one of the most brilliant things. I mean, we can all make fun of Sutton and say this or that, but like she can't get the soap opera. You couldn't beat that soap opera actress out of Lisa Rinna. I'll say. And it's true. She treats everything like she's up for like a daytime Emmy. And it's just too much. It's sad. It's like when you get older and you stop realizing what people believe and don't. And I think she thinks she's at the pinnacle of her ability, and she just isn't. So this is called Rose Colored Glasses, season 12, episode 13, Rose Colored Glasses. That's if we're to deduce anything, you look at life through rose-colored glasses, which kind of means like, oh, I'm looking at life through, just kind of the beauty of life. But I think this also means rose-colored glasses because of Lisa Rinna's rose brand. Huge. I shit you not, folks. Like I can't keep saying this enough times. Did anybody think Lisa Rinna was the person to have a rose? Like, did anybody think like we demand a rose from Lisa Rinna? I demand to get pissed drunk off a Lisa Rinna rose. Like Lisa Rinna, I could see almost more of a seltzer person or like a 40 or, I mean, so many different kind of drinks, but it would just, she doesn't fucking, like she probably, if anything, drinks like straight vodka and just pills. Like there's no way. Lisa doesn't look like she's anywho. It gave us a great moment when she got wasted, though. Summary for tonight's episode provided by Bravo. Garcelle takes her concerns about Erica to Dorit, which I'm always like, that's already bad. Then asks a question about Dorit's personal life. I'm like, oh my God, are you circumcised? Erica makes a stunning revelation. I'm like, oh yeah, Tom stole money. Lisa invites the women to sip on rosé, but her past resentment towards Sutton uncorks itself in a big way. Whoever wrote this, congrats on using the word uncork in regards to a wine tasting. That was really good copywriting. So we always start these shows with what we've seen in the past because Bravo does not trust us to remember. Previously on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we had Erica at Diana's Christmas party of like, Rinna going, Kathy Hilton's here finally. Oh my God, Kathy. And I will say Kathy Hilton is not in this episode. I like when they use Kathy sparingly. Kathy is a spice. Kathy is an addition to. We don't need Kathy to have the spotlight. I will say they show the preview for next week's episode and Rinna has a crying scene and Kathy tears up again, which makes it interesting because Rinna then goes against Kathy at the end of the season. Also, Kathy cried during Asher's performance at the holiday party last week. And I just have a feeling like Kathy seems like a bit of a crier, Like Kathy seems like she wells up a lot, or she is a weed smoker and her eyes are always irritated, So we have Crystal to Kyle and Diana revealing more about her eating disorder, saying, I want to eat a meal and be okay with it. I don't want to hate what I'm eating every day. Now, tonight's episode, you guys, there is trigger warnings in this because we get deeper into this. And it's one of the most disgusting scenes I've seen on Housewives, not because of the what we're talking about, but because Crystal isn't there and they're talking about her and revealing insanely personal information. When Dorit said when they were at Craig's and Crystal revealed that she is throwing up every day, I almost bit my tongue off. Like I was like, wait a sec, that almost even feels too personal for me to hear. And why would you ever feel that's okay to do? And also, this is in the middle of the season and a lot of people seem to be out with COVID. It's like a basketball team that's been struck with COVID because Crystal's not in this episode. Kathy's not in this episode. Kyle is not in this episode. We got some of the A team out and they brought in some of the B team, but Rinna and Erica, especially with this episode, you really see how they're working together to try to take down Sutton. And it's so funny because it's like, dude, Sutton will eventually, like any housewife, will take down herself. You don't like, why go this hard? It's so weird. You guys look like idiots. You're like Waldorf and Statler from the Muppet movie. You're like, ha, 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 we're doing it. They think they're so cool. And it just like makes me sadder each week, but it's kind of like, this is so far away from being the dope serve you think it is. We also had the scene in the beginning, Erica going, I'm glad you have Cherie, Garcelle, because I think Sutton is a liability. And Garcelle's like, really? Yeah. That's what I said. Yeah. Why does everybody come down on Sutton? Because she's unpredictable in some ways. Oh, really, Erica? Unpredictable? Like stealing millions of dollars? Like unpredictable? Do you look at yourself in the mirror? Unpredictable? Didn't you shout down a 14-year-old boy and tell the other like 30-year-old man you wanted to fuck him, Garcelle's other son? Is that unpredictable? I mean, literally, this lady's farting in every scene, like just and we're like, oh, Sutton's unpredictable though. Are you out of your gourd? Dorit, then we go to a scene with Dorit like, you should never be taking the car out, PK, if you're gonna have a drink. And PK like, oh, this story because I wasn't booked. that I wasn't going to tell you about the Dewey, the DUI, the whole thing that happened. And Dorit's like, the only reason why you did, beep boop, bop, beep boop, boop, is because you needed me to pick up your car, Dorit P30. And PK's like, yeah, you got to go to Punta Mita. Then Erica in another scene says to Diana,
I'm on Lexapro, yeah, and I've had a few drinks, but the truth is, I'm okay. I'm okay. But the truth is, I'm okay.
Rinna to Erica, did you black out when you got home, Erica Jane?
Yeah, I hit my head after I got all that dick. Dick, dick, dick. Dick, I get dick all the time. It's me, Erica Jane. The two things you know about me is I'm broke and I get dick. Get dick all day long. All night long. I haven't slept in years because all the dick I got this week.
And Rinna goes, you're out of control, Erica Jane. We do get the taglines this week. We didn't have them last week. The only one I wanted to point out this week again, and it's so sad because we don't have Diana Jenkins. We don't have her this week. She had Asha perform. By the way, was the holiday party, was that like a COVID spreader? So I did Diana's, if you listen to the taglines, I just always imagine them recording it in like a booth or like with a sound guy holding a mic over there. And Diana's, the only thing better than having it all is having even more. Also, there was a cut scene from last week's episode of more shenanigans with her boy toy Asher singing, and Kyle was singing with like a helium balloon. I sometimes, with the never before seen footage, I don't know if you guys know this, they air it right before the new episode. They'll do like the episode you saw last week, but they'll add on a couple of scenes. And I hate that they do this because they're usually pretty good scenes. I would almost want like a 10-minute block of just things that we didn't see every week. I don't want them to add them into a show, and you guys don't, Bravo doesn't advertise it well enough that we know that that's what it is, but there's always magic. And especially with this trash, it's like, wow. The only thing better than having it all is buying your boyfriend a recording label so he can release his music. The episode begins with Rinna at the Hamlin residence, Harry Hamlin, and she's making herself a tea, you guys. She's a tea lady. She's in her rat-infested kitchen, and she's like, I'm gonna sit on the patio and make some FaceTime calls. And so Rinna is doing we've been saying this now for weeks, but like Beverly Hills should be fined $80 at least every time that they use FaceTime in a scene. Because it's like, yo, I can do FaceTime in my own time. I want professional scenes between people. Rinna to Diana was like, hi, beauty. How are you? How are you feeling? And Diana's like all like masked up. Like she's like this and like just completely covered up. She's like, just struggling. And Rinna's like, I know the feeling. And then she's like, I'm sick of being sick. I am sick of being sick. And then Rinna is on a FaceTime with Kyle. And Rinna's like, when did you get out of COVID jail, Kyle? And Kyle's like, getting out of COVID jail on Monday. And Rinna's like, we're having a little wine tasting. I'll miss you guys. Then she calls Dorit. And Rinna's like, hi, baby. And Dorit's like, hey, mama. I love when Dorit, I'm a mama bear. PK's a papa bear. Hey, mama. It's me, Dorit. Hey, mama. And Rinna's like, look how pretty you look. Whenever Rinna does it, I always truly think now of like the Wicked Witch, or like, you look good enough to eat. It always seems like deceptive, like she's planning somebody's death. So Rinna, look how pretty you look. Where are you going? And Dorit's like, I'm going to work. But then like we just drop it and move on to the next one. I'm like, whoa. What work, Dorit? What are we talking about? Are you going to Buca de Beppo? Are you considering this work, the shooting of the show? Because aren't you in work right now by default because you're FaceTiming on camera? Like, what work are we going? Beverly Beach? I need more details. What is the work that Dorit is talking about here? Like, I didn't mean me. I meant I'm going to watch somebody work. I'm going to go to the mall and watch workers work. Little Jagaloo, look at how nice that man folds the Gap t-shirts, little Jagaloo. Could that be you someday? Which, by the way, we meet Sutton's son today. Interesting. And also interesting because I will be his stepfather at one point. You guys, we tried so hard with Sutton last week. I was trying to hit on her on the podcast and say why Sanjit was not right for her. And I got literally 0 replies from Sutton. I mean, I didn't reach out to her directly, but I think, she felt that I was trying. And it's frustrating when I ride so hard for Sutton and then I just get ignored. I mean, and that's another thing. I wonder if Sutton's more of a mustache girl, like now that I have the mustache, I mean, hi, Sutton. Ryan Bailey from So Bad It's Good. Would you like a free mustache ride? Hey, okay. I'm sorry. Don't turn it off, folks. Then Rinna calls Garcelle, and then, Rinna's more serious. Hi, Garcelle. How are you? I'm good. How are you, Lisa? We're having a little wine tasting in here, so I'm hoping you'll come. Garcelle's like, wine tasting? A little wine tasting, a little afternoon soiree. It doesn't it. If you read, by the way, if you read anything in that voice, it sounds eerie, but it does, like, really a little, just a little afternoon soiree. It just sounds like she's setting up like a death party. Then finally, Lisa calls Sutton, and Sutton's like, well, I love a wine tasting. I'll say. And Renee's like, you can wear leather pants if you want or not. Because of the stupid leather pants comment that they did, that Sutton did at Rena's place last season. And then we're back to the Diana phone call, and Diana's like, so sorry to Mr. Wine Tasting. I will give you $1 million for not being there. And Rena's like, you look gorgeous. And she's like, thank you. She doesn't look gorgeous. She looks like she's in the witness protection program. Like, I don't even know what the fuck she's talking about. Then we're cutting. Garcelle's like, I'll be there with bells on, and Rena's like, okay, great. And then Kyle's like, I gotta say goodbye to my daughter Sophia, she's going to college. And I wonder if Kyle just uses her kids as excuses, like we all do, of like, Sophia just fell down a flight of stairs, gotta go. And Rena's like, okay, bye, Sophia. And then Rena goes, a little Rena Rosé and some signature cocktails. And then Dorit's like, really? It's really happening? And Rena's like, it's happening, all right. It's actually finally happening. I think we all remember Provence. And Rena and I talking that goes, we went to that beautiful wine tasting where we got absolutely shit-faced. And then we do a flashback to Provence 2018. I think we all remember this episode. Kyle's like, I like that first one. It's better and better each time. And Rena goes, very tasty. And then Dorit pours hers into the spit bucket. And Kyle's like, she's like, I'm done with this. Remember, Kyle got all funny and started doing like Teddy's walk and all that stuff. And Rena's like, well, I'd like to be the new rosé seller. Rena Rosé. Rena Rosé. I love people when they have like the same letter of like another thing that fits together and they think they're fucking Einstein all of a sudden. They're like, oh my God, look at what I invented. Rena has an R at the top. Rosé has an R. Rena Rosé. I'm Thomas. I'm Benjamin Franklin. Dorit goes, absolutely, I wouldn't miss it for the world. And Rena goes, it's only the 6 of us. And Dorit goes, I know. I feel like I'm the last one standing. And Rena goes, you are. You and Kathy right now, and she's been exposed, so she's not coming. So you really are the last one standing. And Dorit goes, well, I cannot wait. And Rena goes, me too. Bye. And if you look in the background, the deep background, you can kind of see there's a line of rats. And you can see directly where they're coming in from the outside into her home. You have to look really closely, but it's a lot of them too. And it's not like the cute ratatouille rats. They're actual real rats. They look rabid. They look like they haven't been fed. And if you really turn up the volume, you can hear one of the rats go, Bolognese, Bolognese, Bolognese. Rat said we could get a good meal here. Woo! Then we go to Sutton's lovely home, where we see Sutton's dog, Waylon. Oh, man, I love using dogs as prop comedy in these things. Usually it's Kyle's dogs, but Waylon gets into it, you guys. Waylon is just destroying her muckety muck sod in the back, just pulling up hunks, having a terrific time. And someone's like, oh, no, Waylon, come on, I'll say. And Joshua, the assistant, I guess kind of the man of the house, he takes off in the backyard. He's like, Waylon, no, no, Waylon. And so like, get him in here, Joshua. And Joshua's trying to wrangle Waylon. And you guys, Waylon, this is such a scary scene. Waylon bites Joshua on the neck and just throws him around like a rag doll. It is so, and you can tell the ambulance has come at this point. So I'm like, no, Waylon, what'd you do? I'll say. And Waylon just was like, it was so scary. No, that actually did not happen. Joshua is just trying to wrangle Waylon. And I do want to point out, though, Joshua was wearing like a tie-dye shirt. And I shit you not, guys, I think I have the same tie-dye shirt. And guess where it's from? Not Old Navy, Target. Me and Joshua, her assistant. And by the way, then I was like, I shouldn't even say this on the podcast in case it gets back to Joshua, because if Sutton finds out Joshua's wearing Target, will he still be allowed to be there? But then I was like, maybe if I start dating Sutton, like then I'll be like, Joshua, I know where you got that shirt. He's like, no, please, Ryan, don't rat on me. I'm like, I wear it too. Will you never let Sutton know that I mainly wear Old Navy clothes? Like, just can we keep that between us? But it really did shock me because I was like, Joshua should not be wearing clothes that I would ever consider buying. Anyway, so there, Joshua's like, Waylon, no. Waylon's this fun game of chase. And Joshua's like, Waylon, damn it. Jonathan chases him back to Sutton. He's got grass in his mouth. And someone's like, drop it, Waylon. Come here. Come here. He's a maniac. Now, Sutton is now in the kitchen with her son, Philip, age 18. They make that sure that it's 18 because remember, her ex-husband wouldn't let the kids film with her the first season until they were 18. So Philip has turned 18. So he is on camera. I think this is the first time. And Sutton's like, well, all right, Philip, because you asked about chicken salad. I say, this is easy. You're going to go off school. Now you know how to make it. So Sutton's doing a little like making the chicken salad. Like, like we're learning how Sutton does her magic in the kitchen. And I do want to point out, just from the first party, Sutton still has the shitty refrigerator. I mean, it's like the refrigerator I have, but it's shitty for her because the Sub-Zero is still not there, I noticed. Remember, she was like, this shitty old fridge that I gotta put stuff into until my Sub-Zero gets across the border. I say. So Joshua says hi to Sutton's daughter, Porter, 19, who enters the kitchen, and Sutton's like, James has Boy Scouts today, so he's not eating with us, which I guess is the other son. And Philip's like, you usually feed him, Mom. He definitely gets food. They get pizza every day. Sutton in a talking head goes, done Christmas. My children were in Italy with their father. It's weird to be alone without any family around you at all. Just me and Sanjit. I talk to myself alone a lot. I talk to my animals. Which, by the way, I would watch a whole fucking series of Sutton talking to her aunt. Come here, Waylon. Waylon, who do you think you were in another life, Waylon? Waylon, do you think there's somebody out there for me, Waylon? I'll say, Waylon, come here. Would you rub my belly? Flashback to 2 days earlier with Garcelle asking Sutton, how have you been coping it all Christmas by yourself? And Sutton's like, well, I just thought, wow, this is my life as a single person. Sutton then in this scene goes, the secret to a good chicken salad? Money. No, she goes, a lot of mayonnaise. Now, this really divides a room all the time. And I'm going to gross some people out, but some people are going to like be right behind me as a champion. But I was raised in a Miracle Whip household. And I didn't even know about mayonnaise until I was well into my 20s. No, I didn't know about mayonnaise. I remember going over to a kid's house and the mom made like something with like mayonnaise. And I was like, what the piss is this? Because it's just, if you're raised on Miracle Whip or vice versa, you taste the other mayonnaise product or whatever the fuck we call it. And you're like, this is disgusting. What the hell is going on? Something is not right. So I was a Miracle Whip man. So I've grown to appreciate mayonnaise, but it's just hard for me, you guys. So this scene was hard, but then I was like, I would force it down for Sutton. It did look good. She had a big bowl of chicken and she was putting big dollops of mayonnaise in there. And she's chopping the celery and putting it in. Sutton's like, well, see, most people think this is really gross. I'll say, but it's not. It just sounds gross. And she's like stirring it and the mayo slurping like, it sounds, by the way, this is my creep, it sounds moist in there. This is the sucking sounds of the bowl. Imagine, I'm stirring it up. I'm stirring the mayonnaise. Oh, well, by the way, this is me doing ASMR, stirring the mayonnaise. Sounds like, Philip, I've not seen your pictures from your birthday party. And Porter, the daughter's like, oh, the skydiving. And we're showing flashes of the skydiving video from the birthday party. And Sutton's like, how terrifying was it jumping out of a plane? And Philip's like, it wasn't that scary, honestly. The jump wasn't scary at all. And Sutton's like, well, I'm glad you did it. Not really. I'm just glad you survived it doing it. How about that? Sutton and I talking head says, when Philip was 3 and we were going from Augusta to New York and he hated flying, I was like, it was one of those flights that kept dropping. He screamed out loud, we're all gonna die. And I was like, no, we're not gonna die. Promise. He's 3, everybody doesn't know what he's talking about. I'll say, and now he's jumping out of planes. We're back in the scene. Son's like, once you were there, Philip, were you committed? And Philip's like, yeah, committed. What are you going to do? Well, no, nothing. Wuss out? Well, yeah, I'd wuss out. And then Sutton wraps the chicken salad bowl and she's like, we'll save this for supper. We can sit. Y'all want to sit? And we've been told the refrigerator, you guys, is going to be coming in February, if anybody is keeping track of that. So it's already there. Porter, the daughter's like, okay. And Son's like, do we believe that refrigerator is coming in February? And Porter's like, so end of March. And Son's like, oh, by the time you get home for summer, we might have to deal with this shitty piece of shit refrigerator for the rest of our days. My God, keeping none of this chicken salad the proper rich temperature that it needs. We're all going to get chicken poisoning. You know what I'm saying? Because of this piece of shit refrigerator that we have. She goes, so Porter, working in the store, did you really feel like you were beneficial? And Philip's like, working at retail? And Son's like, well, you wanted to work at Chipotle. Sutton Strack's son wanted to work at Chipotle. I do find this interesting when the kids of wealthy people cosplay poor. You know, like, and by the way, I'm all like, that's awesome that he even wants to work if he doesn't have to begin with. Like, but very interesting. Imagine like you're working with Sutton Strack's son at the Chipotle, but you actually are working at Chipotle because that's the only job that'll hire you. You need the money. And you're like, why, Philip, why aren't you, the pace? We got to pick it up, man. And he's like, literally, man, I'm worth $4 million. Just back off. Okay. So Philip's like, those are more valuable life skills at Chipotle. I'm not going to lie. And Son's like, what are you going to study? Do you know yet? And Philip's like, I don't really know. And Son's like, I mean, what do you love at school, Philip? You're a good singer. You're an excellent karaoke partner. This would have been great if they had cut to Sutton and her son doing the Shallow song from A Star Is Born. I'll say, far from the shallow now. Sutton and the talking head goes, Philip, a year ago, said he was going to join Army. He said he was going to join it. I said, I want to join the Army because I've been too comfortable. That's what he said to me. He said, he lives a nice life, Philip. And I said, well, I'll make you uncomfortable then if you're going to join the Army. And I'll send him to Georgia when it was going to be 105 degrees and 100% humidity. I made him get a job. He had to be there at 5:30 in the morning to deliver vending machine cokes and stuff. A month later, when I picked him up, I'll say he wanted to go to college. So I don't spoil him at all. I also love why can't he just get like an internship at like a nice law firm or something? Why is he always like, well, I had him fixing toilets. He was fixing mucky shit-covered toilets in Georgia. Yeah, that's what we had him do. We also had him chasing tornadoes. Yeah, it was a very tough job, but he said he wanted to feel uncomfortable. So we sent him into the heart of a big old storm, We trained Philip to be an assassin, and then he was killing foreign dignitaries that people wanted to take out for certain governments, Back in the scene, Son's like, do y'all want a chicken salad sandwich? And Philip's like, yeah. And Son's like, all right, I have an assortment of breads. And she opens the bread. I thought it was going to be all fancy breads. She goes, I have the Wonder Bread. Sutton Strack has a loaf of Wonder Bread? And Porter's like, I feel like that'll taste the best with it. And Sutton's like, well, there's sourdough, but there's not very much left. And Philip's like, I'll take sourdough. And okay, cool. Sutton and the talking head goes, so after Philip goes to high school, Philip's going to the Citadel, which is actually a military school. So we both win. I think the good news is I don't have to decorate his room, because it's not like a hoarder situation. There's no like curtains or any of that stuff because it's a citadel. And I think you have to like bounce a quarter off your bed. Oh, I say, Philip, guess what you have to do? Make your bed every day too. Ha 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 ha. Sutton back in the scene goes, that looks pretty good. Seeing you make fun of my chicken salad, calling it mayonnaise mixture. And Porter's like, it's like gross in theory, but it tastes good. Then we go to evening. We're in the evening time, the night, we call it nighttime. We bring us to a restaurant called Wood and Water Kitchen and Bar. I've never heard of this fucking place. And Wood and Water Kitchen and Bar. Garcelle's there. She's like, hi, I'm here to meet Dorit Kimsley. I've never gone into like a Chili's or a TGI Fridays and been like, I'm here to meet such and such. Like, and by the way, Dorit wasn't even there yet. So like, this isn't a fancy place. It was weird. And then, so Garcelle's seated, the hostess then brings in Dorit and Garcelle's like, hello, are we hugging? Dorit like, I don't know. I guess so. I hate the thought of like not hugging, you know, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. I hope we never get to the place, but I know there are some people that are like, you know what? I'm never going to hug again. And Garcelle's like, oh my God, that would be so horrible. I know. I want a hug. I'm a hugger. And I know you're like that too. Two mamas loving the hug in the universe. Two children of the world hugging, hugging, hugging. And if you said, don't hug Dorit, I'd say, I don't want to be here anymore. I only want to live a life of hugs, hugs and embraces. Garcelle in Talking Head says, I think Dorit and I passed hurdles. We get a flashback to 1 year earlier of Dorit like, you're making a lot of jabs at me, Garcelle. Jab, 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 jab. Jab, 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 jab. And Garcelle's like, have I? It's like a bully. You're a bully, Garcelle, a poking bully. Jab, 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 jab. A jab bully. Garcelle in a Talking Head says, well, it's all a wash now. The server goes, does anyone want any appetizers, beer, wine, or cocktails? Garcelle's a Casamigos need. And guess what? I was so excited that we got to hear Dorit do her liquor order again of like, I'll have a Belvedere with club soda, short glass, 3 lemons, please. And you can put the carcass outstretched. Like she added the outstretched. Like we've been hearing the carcass. You can put that old carcass. Like 3 lemons, please. Just put the fucking lemon rind thing. Like you're calling it a carcass. It's so dark and disturbing. Garcelle in a Talking Head goes, she apologized for calling me a bully. And now we can just have fun and not judge each other and move on. Sure, Garcelle. Garcelle, they order the food. Garcelle says, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I'm doing the audio portion of my book, Garcelle. I'm a little scared because I'm sharing and telling stories that I never told. We break the scene to 1 day earlier with Garcelle at the recording in the studio. I've always wanted to be an audiobook voiceover artist. I'm not even joking. Like that to me is a dream job. And Garcelle, we see her recording, like, I had to push myself to so many limits that I never thought I would ever go to. This was a big reason I decided to pose for Playboy magazine. I then showed my beaver. Like, no, I just love that it was like, I'm going to read the audiobook and they chose the part where she posed for Playboy. Then I stripped down. My nipples were very hard because of the icy weather in the Playboy studio that day, I'll tell you. Garcelle in a Talking Head goes, there are stories in my book that I never talked about. I had an experience with Bill Cosby that was really scary. And I'm like, okay, may we hear it, Garcelle? And they just move on. I'm like, I would like to talk to you. It's me, Dr. Cosby. Let me see your boobies. Like, I want to know this. Now I'm going to read. I'm in. Maybe that was why you didn't tell me, because you knew I would want to buy the book then. So Garcelle's like, yeah, you know, Dorit's like, that's exciting. And I know it's really nerve-wracking. It's like when I did Beverly Beach. Garcelle's like, yeah, it is nerve-wracking, but you did it. Garcelle, and I'm talking about, said there were things I thought I had peace around. And then when writing the book, I realized, no, there's no peace around it. It's still haunting you. Then Garcelle goes, I'm dying to ask you. I heard about PK's DUI. Alleged DUI? Garcelle goes, what do you mean alleged? They never booked him. They never arrested him. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. When he got to the station, he took a breathalyzer and he was under the limit. And they said to him, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to go home. And Garcelle goes, so they did nothing? Well, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. They took him to the station. Regardless, let me tell you, the man was so shooken up because he's never been in that situation. Clearly, very scary for him. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. Garcelle goes, yeah. Garcelle in a Talking Head goes, I saw an article that said the police drove PK home. This is what I talked about last week. And she goes, that would never happen in my world to anybody I know that's black. That would never happen ever. Did he stop and get a steak too? Now, listen, this is what I thought last week. I'm like, wait, they drive people home? They're like, you take them to the station. Somebody wrote me an email about this. I got to find, damn it. I don't have it at the ready. I got to print out things when people send it. But it was about, what the actual police policies are. But this was very interesting. And I imagine it has to be frustrating because it is one of those things that sometimes you do think about race, especially when it comes to law enforcement sometimes, So Dorit, I'm sure Dorit loved, by the way, that talking head that Garcelle said, like Dorit was like, damn it, I knew Garcelle would say something troubling in a talking head. Dorit goes, yes, so Saturday is Rinna's wine tasting. Garcelle goes, yeah. Do you think Erica's gonna have some wine? And Garcelle goes, I don't know. So I saw Erica last night and she totally said, I'm not allowed to drink when I'm on those meds. Did you feel concerned? I did, yeah, even though I didn't know she fell until after the fact and hit her head. And Dorit goes, what? Wait, what? It was like the biggest react, like everybody stopped working in the restaurant. Like, wait, what? Oh, zoinks. And Garcelle's like, yeah, she fell and hit her head. Garcelle goes, yeah, that's what I heard. So that's when I was like, okay, she's really got to figure it out. No, totally. You don't want to do it. Not like PK unless you want to ride home. Garcelle goes, yeah, so that was it. But she said something interesting to me. She said that being Sutton's friend may be a liability to me. And Dorit goes, what do you think she meant by that? And Garcelle goes, by being friends with her, it's detrimental to me. Garcelle says in a talking head, maybe Erica's trying to give me a compliment. Like they would like me more if I wasn't so close to Sutton, but it's not really a compliment. That means I can't handle myself and I will let Sutton take me down. Why would that happen? Dorit goes, if a friend of yours is falling off a cliff, you're taking the dive with them. You don't seem like the Thelma and Louise type to me. I love Dorit so much. If a friend of yours is jumping out of a plane because a tiger is about to bite them at 30,000 feet, would you jump out, Garcelle? I don't know. Beep boop, 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 boop. Dorit goes, you kind of seem like you're kind of like, and Garcelle goes, no, I'll help you. I'll throw something for you to hold on to. And Dorit's like, oh, you still alive? She's looking down the cliff. She's pretending to look down the cliff. Now I want to see a Thelma and Louise remake with Dorit and Garcelle. All right, if I have service, I'll use my cell to call someone for you, but I've got an appointment, honey, so good luck. Garcelle laughing, going, oh, yeah, exactly. I got to go. Now we're in Erica's little pool shack. It's a very tight scene. You can tell the cameramen are very warm, just very cramped space. I love the back shot of her pool house so much because it's like they can't shoot it from the front, so they shoot it from the back. It always makes me laugh. The pool water is starting to look a little murky, though. I will say that. And if you do freeze frame and zoom in right at the right second, you'll see a dead body floating in there. Because she had gotten dick from it the night before.
I got dick, and then I drowned him in the pool. He touched my privates. I get dick. And that pool isn't clean. It's full of sex juice. Yeah.
So Mikey is there, Erica's creative director, and Mikey's like, Jack, do you want something? And we meet Jack, Erica's publicist. What a job, Jack. Bang up job so far. And Mike is like, what are you doing? Coffee? And you want a coffee? And Erica's like,
who's using my espresso machine that y'all bought for me? There's that Armenian crazy coffee you gave us.
And Jack's like, you drink that when you want to be up for 4 hours. And Erica goes,
I don't need that. Unless I'm having sex, I don't want to drink all of it. I need to be calm. So what's going on, you guys?
I like when Erica gets down to business. What's going on, guys? And Mikey's like, so I think we need to have a team catch up. Pretty mess hair. It's going to be really cool to see once we send out all the PR boxes to like the celebrity stylists that we work with to see who's going to post about it. That's going to be cool. You guys could probably tell me more than I know. Did a lot of people post about Erica's hair extension? Like, I only saw it, I think, on Erica's page or something. I don't know. I didn't see it from a lot of people. Erica goes,
that's going to be nice. It's just a great way to get the word of mouth going. Everybody's always adding the hair in, every show that you do. If you're going to go out on a date, you get some of Erica Jane pussy hair. I'm having sex, y'all. Dick.
And Mikey goes, speaking of dating, didn't you say that like someone's husband said that they have a perfect candidate? And Erica's like,
Well, I don't know about perfect candidate, but Mauricio did say he had someone.
we get a flashback to 2 months earlier. Mauricio going, he's an NFL player. And Rena's like, oh, even better. And Mauricio's like, he's an Olympic gold medalist. Even better, Rena says. And Garcelle goes, her coochie is open for service. And then Erica goes,
I'll do anything. Well, not anything, but I'll piss on him, sure, yeah.
and Erica goes,
I've just been trying hard to get some good dick.
and Mikey's laughing, like, oh, Erica, you're so funny in this business meeting with your publicist. You're funny. Oh. And Jack's like, well, I might go through your DMs, Erica. And Erica's like,
You know, I might actually need someone to do that.
can you imagine if I get hired to do that? I'll go through your DMs, Erica. I'll do it in a heartbeat. Mikey goes, he's the perfect person to do your DMs. And Erica's like,
You would be the perfect one to respond to a few of these offers.
dude, I mean, was she inferring that she's like getting like sex offered? Like, by the way, Erica, you need the money. Don't go on OnlyFans, dude. By the way, that's totally within the realm of possibility. Don't you think? If Denise Richards did it, like, go on OnlyFans. Let's see the beef. Sorry. Erica in a talking head goes,
Look, here's the thing. I wouldn't be a good girlfriend right now because I just came out of a 20+ year marriage.
oh, is that the only reason? Yeah, okay, that's it.
But the point is, dick is great. The point is, private parts are awesome. Boyfriends do not have time for me, and that means I don't have time for them. Same thing. You know, we don't have time for each other, so it's fine.
And then we're back in the scene, and Erica goes,
I just know that like the texting game, oh my God, I told you I sent the wrong text to the wrong person, thanking them for some good dick. And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to give you some good dick.
and Mikey's like, oh, you missed our conversation yesterday. And Erica's like,
Oh, get into this. So I've decided I want to be a part-time dominatrix.
totally like Erica, though, to never even take on full-time work, right? Part-time, like,
Part-time, you know, and if I can get my shifts covered, 1 day a week, maybe, and I take lunch break.
I love it. She was like a part-time. And Jack's like, you do? Jack's her, but what kind of public? Like, well, Erica, good for you. And Erica's like,
So I was having an intimate moment with this person, which means dick, dick, dick. And he said to me, you know what? I bet you'd be a really good dominatrix. And I said, huh, I've actually thought of it. And he said, you should really kind of explore, you know, like on the low.
dude, we got to find Erica Jane's LinkedIn, like ASAP. Mikey goes, or the hi. And Erica goes,
Hi, Ann.
and Jack's like, I'm like, excuse me? And Erica's like,
So for the high end, I'll have no more than 5 clients.
and Jack's like, I don't know how I feel about this situation, Erica. Erica in the talking head goes,
Well, I'm bossy. I'd like to administer a little bit of pain for pleasure. I also like latex costumes, and I know there are people like that as well.
so this actually got brought up because I think it was Faces of Reality on Instagram reminded everybody that, remember, Army Hammer lived next door. Face Reality 16 lived next door to the pool house she's in. She truly did. He really did live next door. It was his buddy's house. And this got brought up. I'm trying to find the post she made. Did she delete it? I'm pretty sure it was her that posted it. Oh no, why did she delete it? Oh, that sucks. Well, because I even commented. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, he's here. Tell me the armor. Okay, yeah. She said, tell me the Army Hammer. Tell me the Army Hammer rumors are true without telling me. So they think this is talking about Army, that Army was the one that said, want to be the dominatrix, because she pulled up a Dumois post from a long time ago. Remember Army's alleged Instagram, his Finsta was El Destructo 86, and it had a picture of Erica in this like blue sexy tied up thing. And it says, my new neighbor just moved in recently and slid into my DMs. She said she can hear what happens over on my side of the fence and wants in. This is my new neighbor, and put a picture of Erica. So listen, if Army's the one that told, what amazing, you know, coming together of circumstance and like pop culture that we all love and have studied. Like if Army Hammer truly is a part of the Erica Jane, like that would be one. Like,
Yeah, Army asked me to shit on him, and then he tried to eat me.
by the way, I did make this post. If Erica Jane is a dominatrix, I will hire her for the show, but my safe words are going to be orphans and widows. And because safe words are important in one of those situations, because if it gets too intense, you give the dominatrix the safe word and she has to stop. So could you imagine? She's like,
Yeah, dick, 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 dick.
and I'm like, it's hurting, dick, dick, dick. And I'm like, oh, take it. I'm trying to take it, but it hurts. Dick, dick, dick. And then all of a sudden, like I go, orphans and widows. Or like, it snows in Pasadena. And then she has to stop. So Leia, the lady assistant, goes, you already have a name for it. And Erica's like,
Yeah, the pretty mess dungeon.
and they all laugh. I don't know. The pretty mess dungeon actually is a good name for her little pool shack. Erica in a talking head goes,
I don't want anyone to steal my trademark.
and she's in a talking head and she turns to somebody outside of the camera shot and goes,
Call our trademark lawyer immediately. I'm serious.
now I did go and look, there's not been a trademark made for Pretty Mess Dungeon. So whoever Erica talked to in this scene didn't do their job. And I also would like to tell you, I am the proud owner now of the trademark for Pretty Mess Dungeon. I'm going to franchise this baby and I'm going to get so much sex, man. I'm going to talk about it all the time. And then you're going to be, Ryan's having so much sex because he says sex all the time. He's always talking about it. So I know he's getting it because that guy's a dirty dog, because that's how it works. If you talk about sex nonstop, it's completely truthful and they're getting sex all the time. So we move on to the next scene. Rinna enters Lumiere, a restaurant, gets seated, and Sutton arrives. And Sutton's like, well, this is so pretty. Look at this. Look who's here. And Rinna's like, hello. Hi, sweetie. And Sutton's like, how are you? And they hug and sit, and Rinna's like, I'm okay. How about you? Well, I'm just so congested. Well, it took me a good 21 days. Oh, really? The server's like, hello, ladies, welcome to Lumiere. And Rinna goes, I want the steak frite, medium well. Who the fuck orders a steak medium well? What kind of, that, by the way, if you were a Rinna fan, that moment, it should have been completely over for you. You'd be like, what? She ordered a steak, like medium rare, motherfucker, or medium. Like, what are you talking about? So Rinna's like, I want a steak frite. And do you have a glass of rosé? That's what I like to have. And Son's like, well, I'll do the salmon. Could we get some bread? And then she goes, you eat bread, right? And I was like, oh shit, is that like a direct shot at Rinna? Like, and Rinna's like, well, I totally do. Yeah, I don't pass up bread. I've eaten so much bread. Bread tastes like oranges, right? Bread. And then Rinna's like, even though I've been told to have a piece of bread at times. And so it's like, you have? And Rinna's like, yeah. And then we get a flashback to that iconic scene in 2015 where Rinna and Kim were fighting. And Rinna's like, your behavior is not okay. And Kim's like, really? Why don't you have a piece of bread and calm down a little? I miss Kim Richards every day of my life. We flash back to 2000. So then Sutton's like, in this scene, Sutton's like, well, tell me what's going on with his wine tasting. And Ren's like, well, I'm coming out with the wine. Finally, it's going to be Rinna Rosé. And Sutton's like, well, that's a cute name. And Ren's like, Rinna Rosé and Chardonnay to begin with. And Sutton's like, well, I just want to see the bottle. And Ren's like, well, we're designing it now. It's a whole thing. It takes, and Sutton's like, well, I don't know why you didn't consult with me, because I didn't. And Ren's like, I don't need to. And Sutton's like, well, because I have really good taste. And Rena's like, well, I know you do, but I don't need to because I have good taste too. And Sutton's like, well, I do love always having rosé. And Rena's like, you say that? I do. I do. Everybody's like with Rena, my friendship with you, Rena. They're like, why do you like Rena? And I was like, because I like her. And Rena's like, I know. People think I'm always such a fucking bitch. And Sutton's like, really? And Rena's like, well, I know people are so fucking scared of me. And you tell her girl boner's like zoing. And Son's like, well, I'm not scared of you. And Renee's like, you are at times. And Son's like, just that one time. We get a flashback to 2 months earlier with the Elton John stupid fucking fight of the century about the AIDS fundraiser, with Rena going, you didn't buy a table, so let's be clear about that. And Son's like, come on, y'all. It's so unfair. And Rena's like, why is it unfair? You brought it up, baby. You got to figure it out because you're the one that started it. Rena goes, I don't want to hold this. I don't want to carry it. There are times when you're infuriating, Sutton, and it makes me mad when I think about how much money you have compared to me. And I want to she goes, I want to freaking strangle you. So I will be honest about that. But at the end of the day, it's been a while. It's over, right? It was silly. Shouldn't have done it. You know that. You didn't say you were sorry. You did. She goes, you did say you were sorry. And so I was like, I did. And Rena's like, well, I have to move on now. I know I do from it, but we laughed. I went to Kathy's house the other day, and I guess I was still talking about it. She just admits literally to shit talking Sutton still as of a couple days ago. Sutton kind of winces like, and we get a flashback to Kathy's Hilton's house with Rena and Crystal 2 weeks earlier. And Rena goes, does Sutton really like piss me off like she does Diana and Erica? No, but I'll torture her. She maniacally laughs. Kind of Crystal does too. And Rena goes, and that's all I'm doing. And then back in this scene, Rena goes, it's kind of fun for me like to torture you. I put nipple clamps on you. And I got them from Erica Jane in the Pretty Miss Dungeon. But this is pretty much Rena admitting she's an asshole. Like this is it. This is evidence that this is Alec Jones, Perry Mason moment. I'm an asshole. We got it on footage. We got it on film. So Son's like, well, at least you know that at least I can take it. Son's trying to make a good, something good out of the situation. Where he's like, well, I think so. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't do it, or maybe I would. Who knows? And Son's like, yeah. And we're like, well, I think so. Otherwise, I probably, you know what I mean. I don't think I would. I'm a pussycat. And Son's like, you're kind of like the Grinch. And Rena goes, I'm not like the Grinch. And Son's like, well, I haven't finished. I am a giver. And Son's like, wait, let me finish. The Grinch's heart gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And Rena's like, my heart's big. No, for real. It's enlarged from all of the pills I've taken over the years. And Son's like, I know. And Rena's like, I just have a very big mouth on top of having a very big heart and really disgustingly big lips. Rena just maniacally laughs at this, and Sutton rolls her eyes like, my God, how did I get in bed with these people? Are you kidding me? It's a new day in Beverly Hills when we pop over to Erica's dungeon while she's getting full glam. I was like,
Yeah, so it's a rose party today, which should be fun. I'm glad I can take a break from getting all that dick and just really enjoy the rose day.
we're at Sutton's house. She's in full hair and makeup process, and she's telling the stylist, well, I had lunch with Lisa. And the stylist is like, why are you talking to me? And the stylist is like, how are you doing with that? And someone's like, well, I like Lisa. I told her, I was like, Lisa, I like you. And everybody asked me why. And they all laugh. Now we're over Dorit. Dorit is taking a FaceTime call with Diana. Hello, beauty. It's just all these BS compliments we have to. You could cut 20 minutes out of the show just with these compliments and hugs, FaceTime calls, all of this shit. And I like that, Diana's like, hey, beautiful. And Dirt's like, I wish I could hug you, but we're on a phone. Would you hug the phone with me? You're not going to Lisa's. You're still in isolation because she has COVID. And, oh, sorry. Wait. Not Crystal, Diana. Sorry. And by the way, sorry, Diana is still in her like FBI protection outfit. So she's like, hello, beauty. And Diana's like, hi, beautiful. It's me, Diana Jenkins. And Dorit's like, you're not going to Lisa's. You're still in isolation. And Dinah's like, it's almost hilarious how much we have done in the last 2 years to avoid it. It took us down. There's no escaping it. She really made COVID seem way. It's coming after Asher next. It's here in my house, COVID. It's like, no. And Diana's like, I mean, I hid on a deserted island for 2 years. I'm like, what? Reed's like, how much are you wishing you could be back there right now? And Diana goes, right away. FBI won't be able to find me. Which is like weirdly foreshadowing. I'm like, what? Like, who brings the FBI into any kind of joke, like, unless you're dealing with the FBI in some kind of way of like, why did you hide? I mean, I know COVID, but I hid on deserted island. It was me, Asher, 4 AK-47s, and lots of gold, and my neuro drink, and the music studio, so Asher could make his shitty music. Now we see Erica in a car. She's FaceTiming with Kyle. Erica's like, there you are. And Kyle's like, what are you doing? And Erica's like, I'm on my way to Rena's. You still in quarantine? And Kyle's like, I'm okay today, but I'm going to give it a couple more days. And Erica's like, yeah, please. What's been going on? Tell me the latest and greatest. And Kyle's like, well, I adopted another puppy. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And we do see adorable pictures of Stormy, the new dog. Kyle names her dogs after weather conditions and earth things, River, Luna, Bambi. And Erica is like, well, let me know when I can come meet your new puppy because he looks adorable. And Kyle's like, yeah, this week. Come this week. Well, I don't know. I might be getting dick this week. Nah, 24/7 dick. I want to meet your dog, but I might be getting pummeled with sex, penis, and vagina. Kyle goes, have fun. Thanks. Call you later. And the son's in a car service on the phone with Crystal. Like, God, it's so, and she's like, hey, sickie. And Kyle's like, Crystal's like, hey. And Son's like, well, I thought I'd swing by and pick you up. And Crystal's like, oh my God, ha ha. And Son's like, well, I keep offering to bring you soup and stuff. You keep saying no. And Crystal goes, I've gained 5 pounds. Who cares? I know. It's just like lying here, just eating. Well, you're going to be fine. Just take care of yourself. That's all you can do. And I'll give you a full report. Well, thank you, Sutton. Well, feel better. Rest. Bye. Now we're at the Hamlin house. Harry, who I love, I adore. It's so conflicting, not liking Lisa, but loving Harry. Harry is helping to set up wine glasses. It's like this guy makes a beautiful table. Lisa's blowing leaves with a leaf blower. She's like, I got the leaf blower. Harry, you do all the work. I'm just going to blow leaves. She's in this black and white Fendi jumpsuit getting ready for the rosé wine tasting party. Lisa goes, I could blow all day long. Classic blowjob joke out of Lisa. Classic. So sexy, so hot, so Erica Jane, but it's Lisa. Cherie arrives first and thanks her driver for the service. She's in a long taupe sweater dress and matching beret with gold studs. Lisa greets her at the door. Welcome to our home. She's like, how are you? Thank you. It's so lovely. Lisa's like, we're serving mixed drinks with the wine you're going to be tasting. This is the tequila version. And then Maggie, Rinna's wine business partner, pops out of nowhere. And she's like, tell Cherie what you're thinking for the names. And Rinna goes, Rinnatini. And Cherie goes, Rinnatini. And Maggie goes, Rinnatini. Yeah. And Rinna goes, Rinnatini. That's right. Rinnatini. Sutton arrives dressed in raspberry colored pants and cream ruffled blouse and jacket. Hello, leather pants. And Sutton's like, well, these are wax denim. Come on. Rinna's like, okay, well, I don't care. You look cute. Sutton's like, well, thanks. You look adorable for a demon. And Rinna's like, welcome. Dorita's next dress. She's like dressed for a walk in Central Park on a brisk day. Looks perfectly put together in black with a touch of yellow. And Dorita's like, this is 3 years in the making, your rosé. And Rinna's like, 3 years in the making. 3 years in the making. 3 years in the making, baby. That's actually the exact dialogue. But I also love the thought of Rinna went to Provence, came up with Rinna Rosé, and then ever since she's been in the lab just testing grapes, squeezing grapes around Harry's balls and trying to find the right mixture, the right taste for Rinna Rosé because she's so passionate about wine. And it's like, no, she just signed her name. And it's like, it took 3 years for this company to put it all together. And, Lisa went in for probably a couple meetings where she's like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, well, we have this wine. Oh, I don't care about that. I'm talking, when's the check come? Sign it over, baby. So Erica arrives in head to toe pink rose jumper and 120 pumps. I don't even know what that means, Juliana. I'm guessing, is that the price of the pumps, or is that the name of the pumps? And we're gonna go, so Rose, your outfit, I love it. Erica's like,
I dressed up like a human rose. I
I love it. Erica to Dorit.
haven't seen you in so long, it feels like forever.
Erica to Sheree.
How are you?
Erica to Sutton.
Moi.
Rena to Erica. What would you like to drink? Erica makes a grumpy face. Whoa. She goes,
Like a chamomile tea or something lame like that, 'cause I can't drink me.
and she's like, well, I think it'll warm you up, though. I promise it will. And Erica goes,
What's that?
well, it is. And she's like, well, there's tequila in it. And Eric's like,
Excuse me? The last time I saw you, I was getting in a lot of trouble.
and she's like, what did I do? What did I do? And Eric's like,
Nothing. You're just a witness. You did nothing. What happens is you're not supposed to drink on medication that I take, and I do. I'm on Lexapro.
Dorit and I talking to goes, listen, I was there to bear witness to how Erica behaved at Godsel's party. And we get a flashback to 6 weeks earlier. Great. Erica's like,
What are you doing here?
and Jade's like, I'm here to get mom's flowers from the party.
Get the one out here.
And Dorit's like, he's getting the flowers for his mama. I want a hug. Can we hug Erica? He's getting the flowers for his mama. And Dorit and talking to head goes, and what Garcelle mentioned the other night? And we get a flashback to something we just saw 20 minutes earlier about hitting the head. Wait, what? We like, they think we're such idiot. Dorit and talking to head goes, I'm gonna make me think now. Do I keep an eye on Erica? The old Dorit. Do I have to keep some Dorit vision on Erica? And Erica's like,
It says on the bottle, don't drink. And of course I do it because I can't read. I'm getting dick.
Garcelle is the last guest to arrive, always stunning in yellow. It says Balenciaga all over the sweater dress. I'll never understand like the shit where we're like, okay, it's Balenciaga. You know, why it feels like that's precious space and you're just slapping the name all over the place. I'd rather have my name. I have Garcelle's name over it. Garcelle says hi, and Erica's like,
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Reminds me of when somebody peed on me during sex. Oh, lots of sex.
Garcelle goes, can you see me? And Sutton sarcastically says, who makes your sweater? And Garcelle goes, oh, I don't know. Shut up. And Sutton's like, what? And they both laugh. Dorit goes, wait a minute. Are you making fun of me? Sorry, wait a second. And Garcelle goes, you know what? Okay. And Dorit goes, sorry, I vaguely remember. Flashback to 1 year earlier. Dorit is dressed in head to toe matching designer wear. And Garcelle goes, Dorit, stand up. Baby, I'm sorry. It's just too. And she's, doing the Dorit fashion show. Garcelle and a talking head back then goes, you're never going to go. Is that Louis Vuitton? Because it's screaming Louis Vuitton. Garcelle to Dorit goes, thank you, baby. How are you? You got the yellow memo. Dorit goes, I know. Harry Hamlin pops in for his 15 minutes with the girl. He's like, time to make the donuts. Gotta go out there and be a husband. He's carrying a large cup of tea, which he gives to Erica. And he's like, hello, girls. And Garcelle goes, Harry Hamlin. They're all excited. Everybody, Harry's fist bumping people. Harry to Erica goes, oh my God, what am I shaking here? What is that? Holy Moses. And it's her Cartier Leopard Panther ring, which is, by the way, Harry should be like, you haven't had to give that over for the money for the orphans and widows yet. Good for you. Good for you. Like, everybody should say that out loud in scenes with her. Oh, good. They haven't taken that. You've still got to keep that. Or is that a fake? Is that costume jewelry? Erica goes,
it's something sparkly and yummy.
I'm sorry. I'm just not on board with calling any kind of jewelry yummy. I'm not even I'm not even feel like yummy. Like, take it off. You don't deserve it. You're gonna call it yummy. Get the fuck out of here. Harry goes, look at all these pretty girls. I mean, my house is blessed all of a sudden. And but yeah, finally the house is blessed. He's like, I've lived with Lisa Rinna so long, this house has been cursed, but now it's blessed. Garcelle goes, yes, how are you? Happy New Year. Again. And Rinna goes, Harry and I did all this because basically everybody has COVID. Harry goes, yep, everyone has COVID. And Rinna goes, swear to God, everyone's out. Harry goes, we had no help whatsoever. And Rinna goes, let's be honest, Harry. Harry did it, didn't he? Harry did all of it. And when he goes, Harry did it. Okay. Of course, we get a flashback to 1 year earlier at the famous Bolognese dinner where Harry set the beautiful table. He had a beard back then, remember? And he's like, wow, ciao Bella. This, and all the girls are like, this is gorgeous. Oh my God. And Kyle's like, did you set this or did Lisa set this? I need to know these things. And Harry goes, she did nothing. And Rennie goes, I did blow the leaves today. And Eric goes,
Oh, you have a leaf blower?
which I know. I was like, Eric was like,
Speaking of blowing, I tell you how much dick I'm getting. Talking about leaf blowing, gee, they should call me Erica Leaf Blowing Jane.
Rennie goes, I did blow the leaves, did I not? And Eric goes, yes, you did. And very well, I might add. And Eric goes,
She's a good blower.
and Rennie goes, I'm a good blower. And Three goes, we all read in your book. We know about your blowing skills, Lisa Rinna. And so you guys might be asking yourself, what book? What are you talking about, Ryan? What are they talking about in this show? When did Lisa Rinna write about blowjobs? And by the way, this is a family show, but I do want to say we are talking adult sexual themes in this little bit. The whole show is that. But anyways, I want to share with you guys Lisa Rinna's book. And for you YouTubers, this is the cover. It's called Renovation, and it's Getting Your Best Life Ever by Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna. And this is exciting because this is I'm going to read how this is a tip in the book that her daughters learned from, because we got a flashback scene from this. The seal, this is Lisa Rinna's writing. The seal in the ring. This is a great technique I learned from Lou. Lou was like this sex teacher that came over and like taught these ladies like a Tupperware party. Basically, it's the first and most important step to giving great oral sex. Form the seal by closing your thumb and index finger around your mouth. By the way, guys, do not make memes of me doing this, no matter what you do. By making the okay sign around your lips. Then with your thumb and forefinger, tighten and release this pressure. This is known as the ring, and it controls how deeply the penis enters your mouth. By using the seal in the ring. Oh, maybe I should do it with my Lisa Rinna. By the seal in the ring, you can create a deep throat sensation without taking the entire penis into your mouth. This move also prevents gagging. Continue to let your hands help you. Use your seal and ring hand to twist the shaft. And don't forget, I shit you not, you guys. She goes, and don't forget the stepchildren. That's Lou's term for testicles, and they tend to be ignored. With your free hand, fondle or stroke his testicles very lightly. And remember, technique is important, as you don't want to hurt anything. Cover those teeth, ladies. But enthusiasm and willingness are just as important. Your partner's response will give you all the encouragement you need. Wasn't part of her partner's response like going to take solo camping trips? He was like, I'm out. Please leave my testicles out of this. Please, Lisa, for the love of God. I thought that would be a little fun, because I do have all the classics. This is a great book. Lisa wrote this fun story before she even did Housewives. So it's great. It's how to cut what you learn from the book is how Lisa got that Dancing with the Stars body, how to lose weight fast without counting calories, how to be camera ready in just minutes, how to balance work and family while also finding time to take care of yourself, how to destroy friendships by revealing secrets when you should know, plus Lisa's instant lip plumper. Get concrete injected into your lips. Okay. So Cherie goes, Harry, I want to ask you something. And Renee goes, sorry, Harry. If you had to write a Yelp review about Lisa's blowjobs, and I was like, oh my God, we need to start Yelp reviews for Lisa's blowjobs. Erica's like,
That's really good. I love that.
Cherie goes 1 to 5, Harry. Erica's like,
Harry, 1 to 5 scale. How are Lisa's blowjobs?
And Harry's like, I'm a spot because what if and Garcelle's like, it better be a 10. There we go. And Cherie's like, why is this not an immediate 5? What? And Harry goes, I would say 10. I would say 10. And Rena goes, shit, that took way too long, but all right. And Garcelle's like, you got to drag it out of him. Yeah, Rena, cup his testicles. Don't forget the stepchildren. Dorit's like, that was a lot of pulling, honey. And she's like, where's my cigarettes when I need them? And Harry's like, I gotta go. I gotta go on a walk. This is fucking ridiculous. Garcelle's like, okay, Kyle has COVID. Kathy was exposed. Shree's like, Crystal has it. Erica goes,
I saw Garcelle the other night. We talked about a lot of different things. We were talking about Crystal. I remember talking to Crystal about an eating disorder, and I asked her if she ever sought professional help. She said no, because she talks a lot about having an eating disorder and what it does to young women, and she brought it up. I'm just bringing that to the table.
why are you bringing that to the fucking table? It went as what, like,
We're talking rosé, so I figured, why not talk ED, you know?
also, we're supposed to be talking about you and your bullshit. Like, what are you, what, talk about Sutton, talk about people that are there. Dorit goes, well, recently we all went to Craig's to eat, and I sat next to Crystal. Beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop. We spent over an hour, and she said she's okay, but I mean, she told me she's vomiting every day. And Marie goes, what? She said that? Sheree goes, self-induced, and Sutton's like, she didn't tell me that. Dorit and the talking head goes, clearly, if she's talking about it to me, it's a sign she needs help. She wants help. I like Dorit was like, she mentioned it to me, so that means she needs help. Nobody tells me anything, so if they do, you know she really means it. And Sheree's like, so she's binging. Eric's like,
Purging, binging, purging.
Erica's all pro.
Taking laxatives, put it in your butt. That's what I like.
Sheree's like, purging rather. And Rena's, listen, I have a young daughter who went through this when she was 15 years old, and we were already in therapy right away. So my question is,
Why don't you seek help?
yeah, why didn't you get help for that? And Rena's like, when your family knows about it, your husband knows about it. And Eric's like,
Yeah, you're talking about it on Instagram.
and Rena's like, by the way, you have to get help for that. And Drew's like, no, she talked to me, but by the way, I'm a new friend. And I mean, when she told me some of the things, I was so shocked by what she said. And Rena goes, listen, I know better than anyone. You can't get better unless you get help. That's the truth. That's the truth. And Sutton's like, well, maybe she is getting help. Sutton and I talking head goes, I don't like it when we talk about one another when the person we're talking about isn't there. Sutton, I love you, man. My love just deepened for you. That's the whole point, you guys. This is an actual eating disorder. This is actually serious. Crystal is not there to even talk about this, and we just got revealed very personal information that she didn't tell any of the other girls. When you're saying you're throwing up every day, that's really serious, and it should not be. And then to have Erica and Rena go, well, she's talking about it on Instagram, she should be fine with it then. It's like, fuck off. Go fuck yourself, Erica. How much have you been forthcoming about any of the bullshit you've done? And Rena, all you do is talk about other people. Where's the honesty in anything about what you do? There's such a disgusting scene. It truly was. And Son's like, but we can ask her what she's doing. And Garcelle's like, we'll talk to her about it. Garcelle and Sutton, dude, they're not even trying hard. They're winning the season. And I don't even think they're even trying to do that. Sutton's in a talking head goes, oh, I don't know a lot about this eating disorder. I'll say, Crystal and I, we haven't talked about it personally one-on-one, so I'm going to stay out of it. I don't want to get involved. Rena's like, anyway, yeah, ladies, we're going to move down the table to the wine tasting. Talk about eating disorder. Let's taste some wine. Come on, sit everybody. Let's do wine tasting. And Garcelle goes, first of all, the bottle is really pretty. Will this be the bottle? It's beautiful. And Harry is back now. He's like, of course. Okay, girls. I'd like you to meet Doug, our wine guy, and Maggie, all from Prestige. I guess that's the wine company. And now the wine is coming around for tasting. Now, I actually trust Harry Hamlin. Like, I actually believe, even in this scene, that he really is getting involved. And like Rena, I don't believe is involved at all. I believe this potentially is probably the third time she's tasted it. But Harry, I actually believe. And by the way, if I wish it was called Harry's Rosé, because then I'd be like, I'll get a case. So Dorit's like, lovely. And Doug, Rena's wine partner, goes, first, we're going to taste the rosé first. And so basically, this is a continuation from the France trip a few years ago. And Erica goes, oh, hey. And she has one sip. And she also left the giant tag on the back of her jumpsuit. She forgot to take it off. I don't know if she's going to return it to TJ Maxx afterwards. But it says, cotton, the fabric of our lives. JK, it just looks dumb. Doug continues with his spiel. He goes, It's usually made in the province area, but we make ours in Bakersfield, California. No, he goes, it's actually an area called the Mediterranean. And Provence is a small region within the Mediterranean. And Rinna and I talking about it, he's like, I don't fucking care where it's from. Let me get some money. She's like, I'm putting myself in a very vulnerable area because listen, these bitches could go hard and really tear the wine apart. Have these bitches ever gone hard on any of these shitty products, these housewives? No. Are you out of your mind? So they're all smelling like, ooh, South of France. Oh my God, it's so good. And they're all just bullshitting. And Sandra talking goes, well, this rosé that they made is perfect for me for what I like. I like a really pale rosé, I say. And I will say Sutton really had an opportunity to bash the wine and she didn't. And I love Sutton even more for that because she could have taken a cheap shot at this cheap rosé and she didn't. And I think that's awesome. So then they're testing the Rose Brut. These grapes could be Chardonnay. I don't know. And Eric's like, what is this, honey? Wait, I thought this was the Brut. And Harry's like, Brut Rosé. That is Brut, she says. And Garcelle's like, I normally don't like Brut, but this is good. Doug goes, also on the palate, how does it feel? Is it soft? Is it a little creamy? Everybody's being like wine assholes. And Dorit, Garcelle reaches out and actually hits a glass of wine over and spills it on the table, splashing Sutton, and Dorit screeches. Rinna's like, and Sutton's like, this is wax denim. It'll just roll on off. Garcelle and a talking head goes, we're at a wine tasting. Normally you swirl, you take a sip, you put it down. No one's spitting out the rosé. Nobody has a spit bucket. Harry goes, so is the consensus, what's the consensus on this? And Eric goes,
I like it. If I must say, I prefer the rosé. And when I'm not getting dick, I love the rosé.
Harry's like, well, I'm with you on that. I think we might have a little more work to do. The rosé is perfection, but we need a little bit more work on the Brut, Harry seems like a detail guy. Garcelle goes, you're not far. And Dory goes, no, you're not far. And Renee goes, I agree. I totally agree. Garcelle goes, are you going to feed us? Because I'm already feeling woozy. And Renee's like, I have pizza and charcuterie. And Garcelle goes, fabulous. And Renee's like, so we're going to come up here. We'll bring the food down. Pizza's made. Harry grew the tomatoes. And Garcelle's like, of course Harry did. Have you had Harry's sauce? We get a flashback to the bolognese. Have you had Harry's bolognese? And I do love that scene from last, when Harry was up with his apron. He's like, we don't stand on ceremony here. We dig in before the rats get it. So Doug and Maggie, the people from Prestige, say goodbye. Harry goes, thank you guys for your input. I'm going for a walk. We never saw Harry Hamlin again. He's still missing, actually. He's like, I'm going for a walk. You can just say you're going. Okay, guys, I'm gonna head out. But I love that Harry was like, I'm going for a walk. Could you imagine walking around a neighborhood and watching and seeing Harry Hamlin walk? To me, I don't know. Just like he seems like such an artist to me. I really love Harry Hamlin. Drew goes, listen, G, I have a friend and he is into you, to Garcelle. And we're just like, oh, we really like that. And Drew goes, he really is. He's been really asking me for the last couple of years. He would love to meet you, Garcelle. I was like, oh my God, is it Boy George? Like, I love Lisa. Renee goes, oh, wow. And Drew goes, he thinks you're probably the most beautiful woman in the world. And Renee claps, he's into you. And Garcelle goes, where's the lie? Renee goes, where is the lie? Exactly. And Cherie goes, what's he look like, Dorit? Very handsome. And Sutton goes, well, how big is his head? And Renee goes, and how big is his hands? And then Erica goes,
how big is his wallet? Let's get down to brass tacks. Does he have a law firm? Does he cheat people out of money?
And Dorit goes, well, he also, you guys, listen, this is not a man who's out on the prowl looking to get laid. No. His name is PK Kemsley. Erica goes, boo. And by the way, I don't believe Mauricio would set up a football player with Erica too, by the way. So Dory goes, okay. And Eric goes, I'm just kidding. No, I am. And Garcia goes, we got a heckler over here. And Eric goes, I already had big head last night. I'm good. I'm tired. Oh, yeah. She had big sex again last night. She goes, you're getting it like that, Erica.
I am. Yeah, I'm happy to say so. Smell my fingers, Cherie.
She goes, woo, she got some last night. Eric goes, I'm having a lot of sex. She literally, that's not even me just ad lib. That's what I'm having a lot of sex. Shri goes, with the same person?
What do you mean person?
And Erica goes, uh-huh. And Drew goes, but if you have sex with the same person over and over again, isn't that considered kind of dating? And Erica goes,
No, it's considered sex.
oh my God, what if it's Tom Girardi still? Sheree goes, you're being serviced.
Well,
He's providing a service, basically.
right. And I'm providing one back.
And Renee goes, ooh. And Dree goes, so you're not allowed to drink it all, Erica? Because she sees Erica drinking the wine. And Erica goes,
Huh?
you're not allowed to drink it all. And Renee goes, girls. And Erica goes,
I can drink.
yeah. And Dree goes, no, I'm saying she's not having a cocktail. You're not like drinking anymore. Dree in a talking head goes, I am not judgmental at all about what Erica is doing, but I feel like I need to be a good friend and maybe just recognize, Erica, are you sure you want this? Beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, boop. Or should I just be letting you have fun and let loose? I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Erica takes a gulp of her wine glass, and I was like, oh, something bad is coming. And Erica rolls her eyes, and Rinna laughs, goes, no, don't worry about what's coming. Nothing bad's coming. And Dorit looks like, and Rinna goes, girls, come on, we're going to sit here. It's cold. You guys, it's so warm and toasty up here. And Dorit's like, do we get more Rinna rosé up there? And Rinna goes, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Fucking Rinna Venmo'd all these ladies for the Rinna rosé. Everybody, I need everybody to see how you want to split the $15 of Rinna rosé you drank today. So Garcelle goes, Erica Jane, I'd love to speak to you. And Erica goes,
What's up?
And Garcelle goes, come over here and find out.
Oh, okay.
And Dree goes, I need to use the pee-pee room if you'll excuse me. Garcelle walks into the backyard, goes, oh, can we go in the sun? And then, oh, no, we'll be right here. Rinna's up on the porch, and she's telling Sheree, have a cookie if you want to have a sweet. And Sheree's like, Lisa is so nurturing. I didn't know you were that nurturing. And Rinna goes, nobody thinks I'm nurturing, and I am. And Sheree goes, oh, you're very nurturing. And Rinna goes, everybody thinks I'm a fucking bitch. And she looks at Sutton, and Sutton's like, I do not. And Rinna goes, trust me, I rarely get that. I get everything, but I get, you're a cold hard bitch. What an amazing thing to always get. Sheree goes, well, I see you as a sweet soul. I really do. So Sheree's obviously blind, guys. Rinna laughs harder when Sheree says that. She goes, I love Sheree. Look at her. And she points at Sutton. Look at her. Because when you said sweet soul, she was like, and Sutton's like, I would take that from 10 stars down to 5. And Sheree goes, because let me say this, we could all get caught up in the bitchy, I love you, but so back to Garcelle and Erica. Garcelle goes, so I love our drinks the other night. Yeah. Well, it kind of threw me off when you said Sutton was a liability. We get a flashback to that scene, even though we saw it earlier in the episode. And Garcelle says, I didn't get it until I got home. And I was like, what does she mean by that? And Eric goes, I feel you always have to clean up and take care of her. You were very good friends to Denise and very loyal to her. So sometimes you stick up for Sutton and I feel like you don't have to. She puts herself in some hot water. And so Garcelle goes, she does. And I get that. But I also feel like that's what friendships are for. I do also want to point out, puts herself in hot water. Didn't like this is once again, Erica got fucking shit canned at every fucking party. She put herself in this hot water. Erica goes, some of the things she says are pretty wild. Oh, do you mean like she's getting fucking sex all the time, Erica? Like that kind of wild? Like, I'm sorry I didn't have a gun to put in my hand after Doreen had a gun put in her hand. And Garcelle goes, there's no way I'm going to argue with it. That was wrong. And I said it from the beginning. Right. And I've said it to her. Can we invite Sutton to this conversation? And Eric goes, no. Why? Well, why would we? Well, because maybe she'll say something that will change your mind. Garcelle, fucking chef's kiss. Amazing, Garcelle. Erica goes, I don't think that right now is the moment. Yeah, why do it when we're all here together? Garcelle goes, I come from a big family and we kind of have each other's back. So that's what I'm used to doing. Like, do you think I would stand up for you? And Erica goes, I think it would be conditional, but I do feel like you would do more for her than you would for me. And that's okay because you guys are closer. But I don't think you would cut me any slack. And then Garcelle goes, you don't think I have? No. I think you've been very clear about how you feel about me, Erica Jane, and everything that happened last year. And I think I've done my best to explain myself and what I'm going through, but I don't think you necessarily believe me. And Garcelle goes, I agree with you. I don't know if I believe everything. And she goes, okay. And Eric goes, yeah. Eric and I talking to her goes,
Garcelle has her sights set on me. She doesn't want to understand where I'm coming from. She wants to make me the bad guy, but what have I done to you?
And she kind of actually in that part lowers. She goes,
She wants to make me the bad guy, but what have I done to you? Absolutely fucking nothing, except, I don't know, you want to witness my life burn down in front of you, and
she squints her eyes.
so judgmental.
And so they finish that conversation. Let's get out of here. It's cold. Go up to Rinna. And Rinna's like, it's warm. There's food, cookies. Sit your ass down. Ooh, would you like another drink of any kind? And Rinna kind of had a sarcastic tone in her voice, like she has a chip on her shoulder. You felt like Rinna was really wanting to make something happen here. And I don't know if that's just a mixture of the wine and ego or what it is, but Rinna was like bouncing off the walls. Sutton basically to Erica says, well, I don't like that I've been called a liability, Erica. As a friend, I don't like that at all. We see it now, a side scene 20 minutes earlier with Garcelle saying to Sutton, I'm going to go talk to Erica because she said you were a liability and I want to know why. Me? As my friend, yeah. So we're back in this present day scene after that, all those flashbacks. I love how they just can't tell a straightforward narrative. They need to go back, forward, back, forward. So he goes, you know what? If you felt like that, Erica, you can tell me that. I'll say, don't tell her that. So why am I a liability as a friend? And Eric's like,
because she has to clean up for you. She supports you for all that stuff that you do.
And Son's like, well, that's what a friend does. It's called being a friend.
Is it?
Yeah. And Eric goes,
like, you know how you get, like, so there was me last year, there was Diana, and there's you,
pointing to Rinna,
this year, so you get in these little spats with everybody, and she's constantly there to support you and defend you.
And Son's like, well, yeah, and that's called being a friend. And Garcelle goes, why do you guys make me feel bad because I'm a loyal friend?
I'm not.
Garcelle goes, and why is that a bad thing?
What I'm saying is when you support her when she falls out with one of us,
yeah,
it's you guys give her some room, you guys. Don't be so hard.
Yeah. Erica, she goes,
she went tit for tat for you,
and points to Rinna. And Garcelle goes, and what did she do?
Erica goes, the Elton thing, Elton John.
And Rinna's like, yeah, Elton John. We get a flashback to 4 months earlier on Watch What Happens Live, where Sutton's like, Harry and Lisa both came. I'll say, I invited them to the Elton John AIDS gala, and they came with me as my guests. And Andy's like, okay. And Sutton's like, I never got to thank you. I'll say. And the audience like, ooh. And Erica's like,
Lisa did you wrong with that sauce,
pointing to Garcelle.
So I'm going to come in for you.
And Son's like, well, I didn't do it on purpose. These really are two different things. This wasn't about the bolognese. Guys, it's really fucking ridiculous. This Elton John, it's fucking redonkulous, man. Like the fact they want to make a meal out of this, like Rinna, like really just like it's hysterical. And it makes Rinna and Erica look so weak because it's not even good enough to hang your hat on. You know what I'm saying? Like pick something real to be upset about. Erica's like,
you're saying they're two different things because you never tried to embarrass or hurt anyone through your support of her. She did.
Pointing to Sutton. Dree goes, do you go on national television? And Rinna goes, and fucking fuck them? Humiliate them? Rinna says humiliate. Rinna says the word humiliate. Sutton goes, well, I had no idea the capacity of hurt it was going to ensue. I watched Watch What Happens Live that night live, and I was like, oh, funny. Like, I wasn't like, holy fucking shit. But I also do know that Rinna likes to get on red carpets for everything and begs for free shit everywhere. So it didn't surprise me. Rinna goes, it hurt me. It hurt me. Sounds like, it did not. And Rinna goes, it hurt me. And Eric goes,
and it hurt Harry.
And Rinna goes, yeah, it hurt Harry. There's a reason why you want to hurt me. There is. And you got to figure out what that is. Rinna, like literally, are you speaking to yourself? Like, Rinna, you want to hurt Sutton? This is so ridiculous. And Eric's just sitting tall, like Cheshire Cat. She's like, yeah. And Rinna's like, think about it for 5 fucking seconds, Sutton. And Sutton's like, well, I don't think we need to cuss like that while you say it. That seemed angry. And you're the one angry at me, not the opposite. And Rinna does a big sigh and drops over, and Erica goes, and Sheree covers her eyes. And Sutton goes, well, I mean, so we've talked about forgiveness, Dan, but it doesn't sound like you're forgiving me. Because remember, they had that scene earlier in this episode where they were talking about saying sorry and shit. And Rinna goes, shut in. And someone's like, well, I did it in a flippant moment. It was not a flippant. It was a flippant. You know, Lisa, you're very funny because our lunch went very differently than right now. We get a flashback to one day earlier on a scene we already fucking saw. Well, you shouldn't have done that. You know that. You did say you were sorry. I did. And I have to move on now. Yeah. And Sutton goes, in this, back to this scene, goes, and I knew you had, an audience. Yeah. You think I'm going to play it? Yeah. No. I can't, I'll say. It's not about me. You did it. I can't help you, I'll say. Erica's rolling her eyes, egging Rinna on, and Rinna goes, you did it. Forgive me. I can't. Well, I want you to because I do like you. You do like me? I do. And Rinna mocks Sutton in the Southern accent right there. She goes, you do like me? I say. And Cherie is kind of laughing, like, what the hell is going on? And Sutton's like, well, I think you're a nice person some days. You know what? No. And Sutton's like, what am I supposed to say? Well, by the way, you didn't respect me. You don't actually. I most certainly do respect you. I say. Rinna and I are talking. He goes, I don't know why this bugs me so much because there's still some injustice to it. Oh my God, she's up on her high horse on this, guys. It's so gross. It's still Sutton not being honest about why she really did it. Sutton plays dumb. She knows exactly what she's doing. It's very, very frustrating. And I'm like, Rinna, you're the one that's fucking cold and calculated. What are you talking? Literally, you hear the bullshit coming out of your mouth. It slays me. I love that Sutton's like a master. She went on Watch What Happens Live with a plan to embarrass me with Elton John involved. And Rennie goes, I've told you, I have talked. Well, you were very different at lunch. You were a lot nicer. Well, I've talked so fucking nasty behind your back. Rinna says, I've talked so fucking nasty behind your back. And Garcelle mutters, okay. And so goes, well, you told me that you did. Now it's going to come hard. And Sutton's like, you told me you did. And I got started to get scared. I was like, is Rinna going to be like, Erica, hold her? And then Rinna's going to like fucking beat her up or something? We get a flashback to 3 months earlier with Erica. Rinna goes, don't fucking come for me on national television with your fucking bullshit. Sorry.
Yeah, she picked the wrong bitch.
Like evil stepsisters. Then we get a flashback to Kyle 2 days earlier where Rinna's like, I'm not thrilled with what Sutton did around the charity thing. I mean, how stupid is that? She should have kept her fucking mouth shut. I mean, it really is insane. I know the intensity of the voice is even more insane, but her intensity in this scene is true narcissism. And we get a flashback to 1 month earlier of Rinna calling Sutton, well, that's narcissism. That's just being narcissistic. And Diana going, I think that she's like even a grade up from that. I'm going to go to my island to escape from FBI. Rinna talking head goes, if Sutton said to me, you know what? I did this out of spite, Lisa. I wanted to hurt you because you hurt my friend Garcelle. I think I would move past it. First off, you fucking wouldn't. Second off, Rinna, you fight with everybody on behalf of Erica or some bullshit. Like, oh, what? Of course she wants to. You're an idiot. Rinna goes, listen, I wanted to drag you. I'm going to torture you. And so it's like, and you apologize for it. Back to the flashback 1 day earlier. I'll be honest with you, Sutton. There are times when you're infuriating, and it makes me mad when I think about it. And I want to freaking strangle you. So I'll be honest about that. Like, Rinna's actually threatening physical violence. That's horrible. So it's like, well, at lunch, when you said when I talk really badly about you, and I'm sorry for that, I was angry. Did I say I was sorry? And she goes, did I say I was sorry for it? Yes, you did. She did say she was fucking sorry. Now Rennie's like, eh. And then Rennie goes, okay, so I'm sorry for a bit, but it happened and I feel it. And the truth is that the fact that you, and Son's like, you know what? You talk, you talk out both sides of your mouth. And then Rennie's like, well, So do you. No, I don't. And then Rinna's like, you know what? Fuck you. Like says, fuck you. And Erica even made, Erica looks like, and I don't know why she is like this. Erica, literally, girl boners everywhere. Rinna goes, you know what? Get out of my house. If you're going to talk like this, you should leave. And the camera goes around and shows everybody's mouth like wide open because it's ridiculous. Like Sutton didn't, Rinna started this whole fucking shit and was like, you get out of my house now. I would love Rinna to get out and Harry's just outside walking and I'm like, he's like, I don't want to go back in there ever. Rinna goes, is everyone clear? No, sorry. Okay, no, sorry. And then in a talking head, Son goes, well, the soap actress in Lisa never leaves her body. It would take an exorcism to take the soap actress out, which is so dead on. What a smart comment. And also, I do want to see a movie of like an exorcist movie where we do try to take the soap act up. You're like, on the power of Christ, I compel thee. Get out of Lisa Rinna. Your mother's executed. Get out of Lisa Rinna. Get out of Lisa. You are never coming out. So Rinna is talking loudly. She's like, come after me as much as you fucking want, but do not bring up my children or my husband, period. End of story. I feel like I'm going insane. Sutton did not bring up her children or her husband. And so Sutton's like, okay. And then Rinna goes, and if you do, I'll cover you till the end of days. If you come for my husband in cage. And then she screamed, I will fucking let you down. I will fucking. Sorry. I will fucking hunt you down. And it's quiet. She exploded. And she did this hand motion like she had flipper instead of hands. Flipper like. And Rinna goes, is it everyone clear? And Garcelle's like, yeah, we're clear. And Son's like, well, is that a threat or a promise? It's a fact. Erica drinks it all in. Just like her glass of wine, she's swirling, opening up the bouquet of the rosé. And Garcelle goes, no kids allowed. And Son's like, no kids allowed. And Renee goes, no husbands. If you're not clear, ask me more questions. But I think I'm clear. Can I point out also the insanity of this? No kids when Garcelle literally, Erica wanted to fuck one of the kids and told the other one to get the fuck out. So no kids, right? Should Garcelle be hunting down Erica until the end of days? So completely ridiculous. And Son's like, you could only apologize. So I can only apologize so many times. And Renee goes, I know, I understand that. And I'm sorry that I humiliated you. Remember, Rinna said the word humiliation earlier. And Son's like, and I'm sorry that I humiliated you then. And that was so key. Because Rinna takes it in. He goes, well, 100%. Rinna goes, you tried to humiliate us, but you humiliated you. And she can't say the word humiliated. She's like, you humiliate. You humiliate. You did not humiliate either one of us. Okay. In my drunkenness. Rena's like, in my drunkenness, you did not. And she's like, fully insanely laughing. She's like, I'm drunk. I can't say humiliate, but I'll say it. You tried, but you didn't because you look like a fucking fool when you did it. You humiliated yourself and me, Harry, and the charity tenfold. Get ready for that. That is the truth. That's true. I love how Rena's basically saying, you ruined the AIDS French. You ruined the AIDS fundraiser, Sutton. You made a damn idiot of yourself and me and Harry Hamlin. Nobody even fucking would know this, but don't you think Rinna's making herself like, and all of this embarrassing and making it's embarrassing for Harry, embarrassing for the foundation. It's completely ridiculous. Lisa has fully lost the plot. Lisa, I know we've not always seen eye to eye, but get back to some kind of status quo. I know there's a real person in there. I do. Let's see a little bit of it. You're going way too hard, way too hard. It's becoming ridiculous. Do not become a caricature of yourself. Please don't do this. You can just do good, normal, like probably your acting teachers used to say, stay grounded, do less. Stay grounded, Lisa, do less. You're doing way too much. It's making you and Erica look like fucking idiots. Like, honestly, you truly have lost it. Like, truly, it's just weird. It's weird. And then you went on Watch What Happens Live, you guys, which we'll talk about a little bit on Monday, because it was even worse. It was just such idiocy. She needs and craves attention so bad, but I don't think she knows how to be a real person. So next time on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Dorit's like, beautiful baby. And PK's like, have you got a picture of the before? Let's have a look. He's getting dental work done. He's like got big fake caps on. And he's like, imagine what a catch I am now. Oh, me and Mauricio going out, two pussy hounds. And then we have a scene with Sutton and Crystal going, well, I don't know if the concern was grave concern. And Crystal's like, are they judging me because I have an eating disorder? Then we have a scene with Dorit going, shh. And there's a dark stage with someone about to play music. And Eric's like, what is it? What's happening? And Kyle's like, no way. You're lying to me. Kathy's like, who the hell is that? Is that Kyle up there? And Kyle's losing it. She's like, oh my God. And by the way, Juliana, you think you know who it is? Why didn't you put it in the notes? I think it's got to be like Foreigner or some 80s band that she loves. I hope it's not Asher again. Like, ladies and gentlemen, Asher. What up, ladies? It's me, Asher Monroe. You ready to get funky tonight? You get off this stage, Miss Erica Jane. This is Asher's stage. By the way, I do hope whoever it is that is playing Erica wants to get up there too and sing along with them. And then we have a scene at this party, Rinna crying on Erica, like, I'm in a lot of pain, you guys. I'm doing the best I can, and I don't know how to do it. And she's sobbing, but I don't see any tears in her eyes. But there's a shot of Kathy with a tear in her eye. So another intense episode next week, you guys. Guys, this is it. I'm going to tap out. I feel horrible. I feel really tired. I hope some of this made you laugh or made sense. I think this is potentially a weak one from this wasn't a great one for me, but it was a tough week. So I hope you got some laughs out of it. And I will, next week's going to be a way better week of podcasting for me. This was not my best week of podcasting, but I hope you guys have the best weekend ever. We always say this at the end of the Friday shows is go out, eat good food, drink good wine, water, soda, rosé, whatever you drink. Spend time with family, spend time with your kids, call somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, go see a movie, watch a TV show, spend some time alone. You don't have to do all of these things, by the way. Read a book, dance, do everything. Try to find something that you really appreciate about life and unplug a little bit. And then I'll see you bright and early on Monday. And we're going to do this. We'll do a week all over again with the Pop Culture Roundup. We'll have some Patreon episodes coming out this weekend. And that's it. Thank you so much for all your kind words about my mom this week. It truly is. I could never have imagined being a part of a community like this. So love you guys, except for Lisa Rinna and Erica Jane.
I'm getting dick. You want to get dick, right? Let's get dick.
Bye. Bye, YouTube.